This is the X&C Podcast, your Xbox newscast, featuring Colteastwood and Mag, hosting industry interviews and gaming talk live on YouTube every Monday night at 5 p.m. on the West Coast, 8 p.m. on the East Coast. For all of you listening around the world, X&C Podcast is available on demand on Spotify, Google, and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. Join the chat, hit the like button, and let's get into this week's topics with the Xbox Newscast. Welcome to the X&C Podcast. Welcome to everybody. This is episode 165. We're live on YouTube. We are fresh, clean, and excited, and we've got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of PlayStation news to discuss, a little bit of Xbox news to discuss, and I'm here with my great co-host from Canada, Middle-Aged Game Guy. Wait, before I give you an intro, I've been using Copilot AI to research things, and I asked, who is Middle-Aged Game Guy? And it said, I'm assuming you're talking about Middle-Aged Gamer Guy. He is a content creator that has done stuff on Twitch and Twitter, and it got some stuff wrong with you about Twitch, but it said he really engaged with his audience with funny and informative discussion on podcasts, and it had this whole thing, man, and I was like in my car. It was so cool. You're famous.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, but welcome to the show.
Did it mention that I'm a pony bot?
No.
Well, you know what? I'm glad that we're having a lot of PlayStation news tonight because I know I'm going to upset a lot of people. I know you know who I'm talking about, Mr. Astro, whatever your face is. I beg you.
What, the guy that
beg you to clip me tonight. Yeah, the guy that clips me all the time. Yeah, I blocked him. I blocked his friends, and then whatever. It was just hilarious. But I beg you to clip me tonight. Clip me tonight. I'm gonna say something. Wait till hour 2. Anyways, in all seriousness, all joking aside, listen, man, it's September. You know what that means. September means it's gaming time. This is our Super Bowl. It starts in September, ends in December. It's going to be a wild couple of months. There's going to be a lot of things, big announcements coming up. We got game awards. We got games coming out on both consoles. It's going to be an exciting time. So I'm really excited to talk about all this tonight. NFL started as well. I mean, this is all good stuff, man. Go Buffalo Bills. Let's go, baby. That's what I'm talking about. That Bills Mafia right here. Anyways, let's get back to gaming. Let's get into the show. We got things to talk about tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I'm really excited. There's a lot of stuff to talk about. I thought before we get into what we're playing, I thought I would ask you, last week on the show, you broke news that you had heard rumor that PlayStation had locked down marketing for Grand Theft Auto 6, and a fairly large account on Twitter called me out and called me for lying and clickbaiting for clout. And I'm like, it wasn't even me that said it. He was kind of rude. He was kind of rude to me. It's a guy that I used to interact with a while ago, but 150,000 followers. And he's like telling people that I was lying and clickbaiting for whatever. But he put up a clip of Jim Ryan like 2 or 4 years ago or something. And he said, PlayStation already said they were going to market with Grand Theft Auto 6 like a long time ago. I was like, I didn't even look into it. I'm like, I don't know what the crap the guy's talking about. He seems super mad that you were supposed to be breaking the news. He's a big Rockstar, Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead content creator or something.
Okay.
Not a very classy thing to do, but I guess coming at me and you for you bringing up that news.
Oh, no, because we broke the news before he did?
Maybe. Like, I mean, not that it's, okay. I don't even think it's that consequential.
Okay, bro. Sorry we ruined your party, but there it goes. There goes your channel. It's over. You might as well just lock it up. Lock it up, because your chat's gonna be like this from now on.
Yep.
It's gonna be like this. They're all leaving you for AI Mag and Colteastwood. So I don't know what the hell you want me to say. I got some more info for you tonight.
Good. I've got some Grand Theft Auto segment for us to talk about later in the show. That'll be perfect.
It's not about Grand Theft. Actually, it's not about Grand Theft Auto, but it's just a little nugget of information that came across my page.
Okay. This isn't something I know about, so I'll be hearing it just as youthful.
And it's not like the end of the world. Like, it's funny. Like, even when I said the Grand Theft Auto thing, I'm like, guys, it's not the end of the world. Like, it's not the biggest scoop in the world, because as most people would have thought, it was pretty obvious that it was, that the marketing was going to go to Sony anyway. So it was like, okay, it makes sense. So, no, it wasn't really that big of a deal. However, this one will probably be the same thing, but it's a cool little nugget of information involving tech. But we'll get into that later. What have you been playing this week, man? What's been going on?
Oh my gosh. I've been playing Warhammer Space Marine. I'm like maybe 25% of the way into it. It is so Gears. It's so what Gears kind of needs to look forward to or forward into being. It's great, but the game that's really captured my heart has, which I shouldn't say. I think somebody else said that, and then it bothered Xbox fans. We're going to talk about it tonight. Astro has been such a joy, and it's upset fans. I know you've been playing it, and I want to hear what you have to say in a second. It's been such a joy. It's such a great game. It's high praise, high rated for a reason. It's just a great, wonderful, fantastic game. Creativity that just continues to surprise you, level after level. And really, I think part of the discussion, we won't sit here and gush about the game. That's already been done. But the discussion is how people are just, there are certain Xbox fans that can't stand that PlayStation has this big moment right now with such a great game.
Haven't they got used to this? Like, haven't they got used to that by now? Like, I mean, like, you know, Sony's had like 30 solid years of like success. Wouldn't they be used to it by now and just be like, hey, maybe I'll buy that as well?
Yeah,
on top of an Xbox. Like, you can have a preference, obviously, as people always have a preference. Otherwise, what's the point in choosing, like, for example, a sports team? I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, right? That's my team. That's my preference. However, if there was another big game on TV, I'm going to watch it. You know what I mean? Like the Detroit Lions game was on the other night. That was an exciting game. I watched the game because I like the Detroit Lions. It's not my preferred team, but why would I lock myself out from watching quality? It's the same thing when it comes to gaming, right? If you want to use that analogy for gaming, same thing. You can have a preference, whether it's Xbox or PlayStation or Nintendo or PC or whatever, right? Whatever platform you want. But why I mean, obvious. There's the obvious thing about money. You know, it sounds a little bit arrogant to say, "Oh, just buy everything." Not everybody has that kind of money. I understand that, and for any of us gamers out there who do have multiple platforms and multiple sources of income, whatever else, it's fine. And we are privileged to be able to have that. So I am always grateful for that. However, if you do have the option, find a way, whatever. Even if you can't, like I know guys who can't afford a PS5 or whatever. I let them borrow mine.
It's getting expensive. Yeah, Gaz is borrowing one.
I'm like, here. I'm like, just here. Take mine for like a week and play whatever game. I think it was God of War Ragnarok.
Wait, I know you probably have a nice house, but do you have a door big enough to get that PS5 out the front?
I had to remove a wall, like like my 600-pound life, like the fat guy that they had to remove with the crane. That they removed the they removed the. Yeah, they had to knock down a part of my wall so I can get the PS. Wait till the PS5 Pro comes. They're gonna have to drop it from a crane. They're gonna have to like those skyscraper cranes. They're gonna have to bring that down and then lower it into my house. Yeah, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something magnificent to watch, folks. But anyways, the thing is if you do have the option to do it, then do it. You know what I mean? Like then instead of screaming about it or getting upset about it, like. Go out there and give it a shot. You never know. Like, I mean, like I know Fonz people have been attacking Fonz and this and that. I'm like,
yeah,
for what? Because he's enjoying the game? Leave him alone, man. Let him enjoy it. Like, who cares? But at the same time, you know what? I've been pretty vocal that I've been playing a lot of my PlayStation this generation. And no one's really, well, I mean, people have come after me. However, the funny thing is the people that have come after me have not been because of that. The people that have come after me is because of what I was saying of all the news I was dropping about Xbox games going third party. That drove people insane. Not the fact that I've been playing a lot on my PlayStation 5 this generation. So that's kind of funny. Isn't that funny how that worked? Not a lot of people got mad at me. And they're like, oh, man, you're a traitor and this and that. I'm like, well, whatever. It was actually because when I started talking about the Xbox third-party stuff, people started getting super upset. But anyways, whatever, man.
Yeah, it's been dicey with... Xbox, I've talked about a lot. They put out 22 games. PlayStation's at nearly 30. And when you were talking about how much you've been playing on your PlayStation, this year's been kind of iffy. Like a lot of us played Helldivers, but
that's one game I actually did not enjoy.
I didn't.
I think I told you about that. Yeah. I didn't like. I enjoyed it for like a couple days. I played a few rounds with Noof and my wife together. That we had a great time. And I was just like, it's all right. Like it got boring for me. Like
it's hard to say because you can do a few matches. You do a handful or a couple of sessions on a couple of days and go, yeah, I like that. And then when it's like, hey, you want to play again? It's like, But
yeah,
but everybody else was the opposite. They were all playing it like crazy.
Yeah, I never went back to it. I just was like, you know what? It's there. I played it. I was like, all right, I get it. I played with my. It's gonna sound funny. I played with my. I played with my wife, but sorry, I couldn't get out. I couldn't get it out
It's
without
totally
a straight face.
normal.
Yeah, no kidding. And I ended up abandoning the game. I was like, I never really went back to it. And then she found her own online squad, and then she was playing for like 2 months after I ditched it. I just never went back to it. Just not interested. But
Yeah.
anyways, that's a whole other story. As for what I'm doing, I've been playing the First Ascendant. I'm almost done. I finished the story. And
Okay.
now I'm doing end game now. So I'm thinking I'm about 75, 80 hours into the game. So now I'm into the end game, and I'm grinding for the last couple of achievements, trophies, whatever you want to call them, and to get that 100%. So I'm working on that, and then of course I'm playing Astrobot on the PS5, and I played a little bit of the Call of Duty beta. Oh no, we had a show since the last beta, right? Since we talked about it.
Yes, we did.
Okay, so we already talked about this. Yeah. Funny enough, I'm going to bring up one little thing here. And I went out for lunch. I went out for sushi today with a friend of mine. And he's a big Call of Duty player, right? And I said, dude, did you play the beta on Xbox? And he goes, yeah, I played it. And he's like, I hated it. And I was like, dude, really? You hated it? And he's played them from the first one all the way till now. And he said, hang on a second.
Five? What? What? Oh, okay. I don't know what he did. Maybe he unplugged a cable. I'm glad I went over to the actual. Hey, look! This is cool. I got stuff set up. Look at this. I can like be full screen. I did a change. I'll wait till I hear Mag again. I did some work over the last podcast because I needed to go solo on the screen, and I set up things. So now, if you're keen to notice, it might be a little bit sharper on my camera because it's a direct feed. It's supposed to be close to the 4K, and we're running a 1440p stream. But yeah, one of the news is about Call of Duty as we wait for Mag to come back. I'll flip back just to make sure. Yeah, he's still away. We just heard that there'll be no early access campaign for Call of Duty Black Ops 6, which I am like, why is Xbox and Activision not doing that? Let me know, chat, if you know if they've done that in the past, but they're not allowing you to pay extra for Deluxe Ultimate Edition to get the campaign early, which normally is like a really good way to make money. Because I was talking to Fonz on the phone from Games Talk Live about the Space Marine. I got the deluxe version of Space Marine. He's like, I am not doing that. Fonz like, I'm never paying for early access. I think it's greasy or it's slimy that they charge extra because people pay $100 for a $70 game and they only get it 3 or 4 days early, and then they're paying for $100 games. I'm like, but it's worth it to people if they want to pay extra or get whatever expanded content comes later on down the road. So that was one thing. Are you back there, Mag?
I'm back.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
So what happened was I got a little over exaggerated and a little excited, and I knocked my microphone. Yeah, I smoked my microphone so hard that it knocked off the arm and like landed on the desk. And then I lost power to it and all vocals, and I'm like, oh my god. So now I'm all paranoid. So I got my hand up here, like I'm just like, oh my god, please don't do that again. I'll keep my hand over here, okay?
We have the same mic arm, I think.
No, we have exactly the same mic arm. Yeah, I smoked it like so hard and knocked it right out of the.
It didn't make any noise. Like I didn't hear any like a guy falling down the stairs, like Tony Stark in the Iron Man outfit, like falling down the stairs.
Yeah, no, but it was so loud on my end. But anyway,
I was just telling him. I don't know if you heard that there's no early access for the campaign, but what were you saying about? Oh, your buddy.
Oh, yeah,
your buddy didn't like them.
He's a huge Call of Duty fan. I didn't like it, and we had a good laugh about it. And I'm like, let me guess. And he's like, dude, the diving. And I was like, thank you. And it was so funny. He's like, I was literally playing that level, which is the level I played with the early access one. Whereas I don't know, it's like somebody's apartment building or whatever, a condo. And like you're up on the second floor and there's like a piano down below and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like it's like somebody's like a luxury condo in like Florida or something. Anyways, and he's like, dude, I'm on the second floor and I'm literally watching bodies flopping down the stairs, flopping over the piano, flopping behind the bar, flopping over a couch, flopping across the floor. And I'm like, that's the one thing that I was saying about it. I'm like, This is literally the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'm sure it'll die off once people like kind of get over like the gimmick of it, like like the diving in all directions. I can absolutely see the diving backwards and shooting while you're on the ground. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
But the diving forward has always been a thing. Everybody does that. The flop on the ground and shooting. Yeah, the dolphin flop or whatever, or dolphin drop, whatever the hell you want to call it. But the diving in every direction looks hilarious. It looks like one of those ridiculous action scenes from that. What the hell is that movie with Leonardo DiCaprio? The one, the director from the Dark Knight and all that. The one with the dreams.
Inception.
Inception. I was about to say Insidious. Inception. It's basically like an action scene from Inception. All these bodies flying in every direction. I'm like, what is happening? But anyways, I have a feeling once the game is out, I have a feeling people are gonna calm down. And they're going to go boots on the ground again, and everybody's going to give up the gimmick of the flopping all over the place because it's going to get old fast, dude. I'm telling you now. I just have a feeling.
Yeah, I mean,
just a gut feeling.
Or people will become so masterful at it that you won't be able to shoot anybody. Shout out so much to Lotus Esprit. Thank you so much. They dropped a $50 super chat. They also said, thank you so much, Lotus. I was talking to Lotus before the show started. Lotus is playing Astrobot and got stuck at one of the big bosses. And I was talking to my son. We've been playing the game together, my 13-year-old. And Lotus said, I'm stuck trying to beat the gorilla in one of the first Galaxy bosses. Lotus says, Xbox for life. I want to have fun. And apparently PlayStation games are too difficult for me. There's always that one moment in a game that for some reason, you don't know why. You're just doing something wrong and you just can't see past it. But Lotus, I'll message you later. I might pop in the game tonight and replay that boss battle, and then I'll send you a little message about how to beat him. But hold on, I think my son said something. This game is so creative. It just does so many cool stuff. He says you have to dodge the attacks and then hit his teeth and eyes. But after that, we don't really remember. But when you have those larger than life bosses in games, like I always love that sort of thing. Yeah, that's it.
So back to our story. And Astrobot, that's the other game I'm playing, obviously. I'm on World 3 now. The reason why I'm taking it so slowly is because I'm not leaving each world until I get a gold flag on every single one. Like, I could have easily finished the campaign over the weekend, right? And then go back.
6 hours.
There's no way you're finishing this game in 6 hours. Unless you live life at 2.5%, 2.5 speed above everybody else. But anyways, the thing is, I could have finished the campaign over the weekend. However, I didn't want to do it like that. I want to go into each world and just completely, you know what I mean? Like lay waste to the entire world and just go through every level, check every little thing and not waste a single moment, check every side quest, do all that, and then move to the next world. I don't want to do the thing, roll credits, and then go back. I just don't want to do that. It'll just feel to me, it feels redundant.
When you roll,
when I roll, to look forward to.
Yeah, when I roll credits, it just emotionally tells me you're done with the game.
It's time to move on.
Which
you're right.
Totally, 100% happened to me when I Red Dead 2 replay. I just did last week. I did everything I could on the most of the content I wanted to do, and I rolled credits. I went back as a playable part, and I'm like, it's like the John Travolta thing. Like, there's nothing. I need to go home.
Sure. Now, the only time I feel like I don't get that feeling is when I'm playing something like Resident Evil, for example, and I'm a Resident Evil nut, and I complete them all, whether it's on I do it on both, on Xbox and PlayStation. I get my thousands on Xbox, and I get the platinums on PlayStation. I've done most of the completions on Xbox, so now I'm going back and doing the same games, getting the platinums on PlayStation. I'm going to play a few of them over the month of October for Halloween, obviously. But anyways, the point is that as soon as I roll credits on that, then I do this. I rub my hands and go, all right, what's the next run going to be all about, right? Yeah. Like, what are we going to do with the next run? Okay, the next run, we're going to do it on easier, but it's going to be knife only with no heals, right? And then you have to go
Wait,
get
you wear heels in the game?
Shut up. Only 6-inch stilettos for me, for Leon. Anyways, Yeah, yeah, not Jill, Jesus, or
JC Penny
Ava.
Leon. Yeah, love it.
Yeah, no, no, or not Ava, Ada. Excuse me, Ada Wong. No. So that's what I do. I'm just like, okay, what's the next run going to be? And then once I unlock whatever unlimited bazooka, then I'm like, all right, next run. Roll credits. I rub my hands and I'm like, all right, let's do this on the hardest difficulty with no saves. And that's where you use the unlimited bazooka and just blow the hell out of everything, rip through the game in 3 hours. To me, it's a challenge, right? That's fun.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right. When you roll credits on a game, though, generally speaking, your mind says time to leave the theater. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Time to go home.
it is. It's something that's been ingrained. And
pack up your pack up your popcorn, grab your jacket, get your car keys. It's time to head to the house, right? So yeah, you're right. So I'm doing it one world at a time until I get to that last world, and then I'll 100% it.
What we're doing is it's for people who haven't played Astrobot Playroom or this current Astrobot. It's kind of like the Lego games. You can't always get everything in the first level. Like levels usually only take like 10 minutes or so. The game's supposed to be a 15-hour game, but what we do is we try to get every collectible of the two types before we go in and go to the flag like you do in Mario, right? So what we typically do is we get almost everything, like missing one or two things, finish the level, unlock a new one, and then maybe we'll go back and grab those other two things. So we're like, I don't know, 25% of the way through on completion. In like, I don't know, we're already 6 hours in, and I'm like, the people mocking Astrobot and saying it's a 6-hour game, super bad faith. It's not a way to play a game. And if those people were given the opportunity to sit and play, like if somebody gifted them a PS5 and said, "Here's Astrobot, that's the only game you get. Are you gonna try it?" Yeah, they're gonna go like this.
Yeah, they're gonna play the living hell out of it and just shut up, just be quiet. Exactly, cool. And you know what? The DualSense 5 features in this game. I mean, we're talking about it now. Let's talk about it because it was already one of the topics anyway. The DualSense 5 features are absolutely stunning. I know that some games, especially in the first half of the generation, really took advantage of the DualSense 5. Games like Horizon Forbidden West, and like a lot of the first party games, right? God of War Ragnarok, the Resident Evil remakes, 2, 3, and 4 really utilized the DualSense.
Oh, they
5.
did. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like even Resident Evil 4 remake, I remember like as I'm like leaving one of the villages to go to like another section of the village, and there's like a rickety bridge, right? And the rickety bridge, and there's like wind blowing, and you're crossing the rickety bridge, and like you can literally feel like the plywood cracking under your feet as you're crossing the bridge, and you could feel the wind like coming from right to left as you're crossing the bridge. You could feel the wind on the controller.
Feel the rain.
Yeah, you feel the rain, you feel that. Even when you're reloading your weapons, you can actually feel the click of like the magazine going into the gun and stuff like that as you're loading the guns and stuff, like just little things like that, right? And of course the 3D audio, right? The 3D audio is coming through the controllers. So even some of the zombies or the monsters or whatever in those games, you can actually hear some of that 3D audio coming through your controller. Scare the living crap out if you're not expecting it. But anyways, this game specifically with those DualSense 5 features are nothing short of amazing. You feel everything. You feel the water rushing. Like you go down a water slide. You know that scene with the water slide with all those little bubbles in like the first world? And you're going down the water slide, you could literally feel like the water rapids on your fingertips as you're going down the water slide. You could feel the heaviness as your feet sink into the crunch of sand, the wind, everything else.
And it's not a miracle.
Remarkable.
It's not a miracle. It's a speaker that vibrates, that makes the sound of the sand or the water or the metal or the jewels or whatever. It's a speaker. If I have this right, it's a speaker in the middle of the controller that does micro vibrations like a speaker does. And then when you pair that with the two offset rotating rumbles that are in the Xbox and PlayStation controller, when that you get that combined, plus the sound that comes out that matches the micro vibration in the middle.
There's the haptic though, like the haptic resistance.
Like
you feel that too. Like when you're on the not even just the triggers, but even like on the back of the controller, you could feel the weight of when you pick something up. Like you could feel like a clunk in the back of the controller as you try to shoulder a heavy rock or something like that. And I'm like, how are they doing this? And like even like Ghost of Tsushima, the wind mechanics and all that stuff, you actually feel all that while you're in the game. You feel the clink of every single sword coming down at you, whatever. Why can't Xbox do this?
They passed on it. in 2020 they
What
had
are they
plans to
doing?
bring out a mid-gen console
about it.
and a mid-gen controller called the Project Sebile or
Yeah,
Sebile.
I remember.
And it was going to have haptics, and Phil just sat there and goes, nah.
Yeah, sorry, that sounds like fun. Let's not do that.
Which is ridiculous because Xbox is only, at this point, they have relegated themselves to just a controller connected to literally anything except an Xbox at this point. And, well, that's a
all
joke.
Of these features.
But
I would take all of those features on Xbox. Can you imagine playing Gears of War with the heaviness of slamming into cover? Boom! You feel like the slam as the shoulder hits like the side of a cinder block as you like get into cover, reloading your guns. The rumble of a chainsaw as you're cutting through an enemy in half.
Or the multi-surfaces in Forza Horizon, driving through sand, snow, ice, tarmac, dirt, and all of this stuff. And Xbox,
do they not have enough money?
I don't know, Mag, because Xbox says no need for a console. Like, they want you to be on an Xbox controller, an Xbox monthly active user, playing their games. You can be connected to Samsung TV, an LG TV,
right,
or whatever, right? This is their selling
controller?
point. They can sell more controllers than they can sell consoles. That's what I don't know why.
Well, I understand that. But I'm saying if you had a really dope ass controller like a DualSense 5, I think Xbox could do even better and say, hey, listen, you don't even need an Xbox, but you could play right on a Samsung TV. Well, we don't have to go through all that. We already know all that stuff. You could play on your Samsung TV. You could play on your apps. You could play on your laptop, your whatever, your tablets. But you get to do it on this really amazing controller, which I thought the Xbox 360 and the Xbox One controllers were, to date, the best controllers in gaming. My personal opinion. And then that changed when the DualSense 5 came out. The DualSense 5 absolutely is the best controller this generation. But
you just need to charge your controller 6 times before the game's over.
No. I know it with Astrobot, yeah. But you know what, though? I played 3-4 hours, and I was still at full bars. So
yeah, we're at 6 hours, and we're on almost at the end of the second controller charge. But yeah, it's worth it, though. I
have a new one. I have a relatively new one, so I wonder if that. If that's part of it.
Where's my controller? It's probably under the pillow. Yeah, we used all the juice on one of them, and then we're almost done with the second one. And then
I have those wireless, those wireless beds that you just like kind of sit them on.
Yeah,
and they charge. So I have I do that for Xbox and PlayStation, and you just like stick them on there, and they just charge, and then you just pull them off, and then off you go.
Yep.
So that if one starts getting too low, you get that little warning, on the screen saying your whatever, your DualSense or your Xbox wireless are running low. Slam it in, grab the next one, and off you go.
Yeah, I bought one of those for the Xbox at the end of the one generation, and then they modified just ever so slightly the shape of the back of the controller, and that thing's in the garbage. So let me get a couple chats here.
You're right about that. And thank God they fixed that battery pack on the back of the Xbox controller. Because remember you forget the 360. Remember the 360?
It was like a magazine.
It was really sticking out. Yeah, and I'm glad they found a way to make it more ergonomically sound. Is that the best terminology I can use for that? I think
that's the one.
Would be good. Yeah. All right. Anyways, go ahead. Super chats, bud.
KJ War says, "What's up?" and gives all the
what's up?
The emojis. I need to make new emojis. I always say that. Red Wolf says, "Let's talk about butter sausage. Why it does what it does, what it's doing." I was in a party chat, and shout out to that blue number who also chats. Space Marine 2 veteran difficulty for the win. Am I right, Cole? I played in co-op with Red and Holly yesterday, and they were hell bent on playing on veteran difficulty. And we're in this area where there's these big antenna towers that are swarmed with bats, and you have to take them on while you're being slapped in the back of the head. And we failed it over and over and over and over. And I
relax.
I'm like, what are we doing? They were both like, it's fun.
Normal.
It's fun trying to see if we can make it. I'm like, we'll never make it. And then we put it on normal difficulty.
Is that one of the achievements, though? Do you have to finish the game on like whatever, like the hardest difficulty?
Red asked the same question. I never look ahead at achievements.
Yeah, you don't see much like an achievement hunter. Like no, like I'm at like I think I'm closing in on 400,000. I stopped really going for them after a while because I told you already. Xbox pissed me off with the achievement thing when they did the DLC, and whenever they add the DLC, then it shows that like, oh, you got 100%. So it shows as 100% completion, right? And that's an OCD thing, right? So I got my 1,000 of 1,000. It says that. Then all of a sudden they release a DLC, 250 achievement points, right? Then it says, oh, you've only completed 73% of the game. I'm like, what? I'm like, don't you dare give me that. I want to see the word 100%,
and a
then
tier
you
2.
can put a plus. Then you can put like another tier or a plus. Sony does it. You get your platinum. You get your platinum. It doesn't involve the DLC. It doesn't say like whatever. But however,
it's one of those things that Xbox just says, we hear you.
It'll still, they don't hear shish kebab. In defense though, the Sony thing still, even when you get the platinum, it'll still say you only completed 83% or whatever. Okay. So I'll give them that. That sucks too. I'm not happy about that. However, they still give you a platinum. I think that Xbox should give you a platinum for getting, not a platinum, we'll call it something else, but like give the players something who got 1,000 out of 1,000 before you start adding all the DLC. I don't know. Chat, come up with an idea.
Oh, you mean Xbox? Because PlayStation at least gives you the platinum trophy.
They give you a platinum trophy, so it's bragging rights, right? So, chat, we got 533 of you in there right now. Give us ideas. I want to hear some ideas. Spit out some ideas in the chat of what you would call 1,000 out of 1,000 completion on Xbox.
Oh yeah, the name. What would you call it? PlayStation calls it platinum.
What would you call the name? Like if they call it a platinum trophy, you get a platinum. That's your prize. You get a platinum trophy. What would be the Xbox prize for 1,000 out of 1,000?
How about calling
it?
You get a matric. Like a Don Matrick.
And it comes with an emoji of his face. I would like to see what the chat comes up with. Anyways, let's carry on.
Yeah, let's do carry on. Yeah, I don't. If you look at my gamer score or whatever, I average like 400 to 600 gamer points on every game that I finish. That's about all I do. Because I do most of the content and then I roll credits and go move on. We've got shout out to that blue number in red for ruining my afternoon. We had some good laughs, but shout out to
God
Red
Emperor
Wolf.
Sofa King, calm down.
What hold on, let me look.
No, I'm not reading what he put there.
Oh, yeah, that would be a good name for it. God Emperor Sofa King. We got BT Maverick, whose channel member 4 months says there's nothing wrong with enjoying a kid game. I'm going from Smashing Skulls and Space Marine 2, maybe the second cutest game this year is Plucky Squire. Yeah, there's so many games this month. Just this month. Shout out to Detective Seeds, who's in the chat, gifted
hey, what's
10
up, buddy?
memberships. Thank you.
Dude.
Yeah.
Detective Seeds rocks, man.
Yeah, he does. He's a good guy. We got let's go through this quickly, but Concord shut down Friday. The announcement was the day after we did X&C. Everyone was like, you had this one side of the group that was dancing on the grave and another side who was like, I never said it was cool. We could talk about that, but I just want to make this topic before we move on to the next thing on Concord is that some of the developers spoke up, Mag, and said that the hate that's come in and the way that people have talked about the game and treated the studio, they're afraid for their livelihood at the studio. They don't know if they're going to be around. Some of the people said because all the stuff they've gone through where they weren't able to design the characters the way they would hope to design them, which kind of how it sounds like they were kind of told this is kind of how you should make the game. They don't want to work anymore. Some don't even want to work in this business anymore. If this is how it's going to be, that was just a little morsel that came out a few days ago. That stuff really makes me feel bad. I don't care whose game it is or what it is or how crappy you thought Concord was. The devs are not feeling good about working, I guess. That's what I got from it. Did you read that?
Yeah, I also read that some of them didn't say some very nice things about the community, whatever.
Yeah, what was the stuff that went on? I didn't follow that.
It went back and forth, but I don't really support either side of it. You know what I mean? Like if the game sucks, like it's fine. Just move on. You know what I mean? Just be like, all right, the game didn't work out. Whatever. We're just gonna move on from it. There's no point in attacking anybody about it or what. However, there was talk, and I didn't really pay much attention to the game, so I didn't really dive into it. But I saw a lot of channels out there talking about, oh, it's another woke disaster and this and that, whatever. I haven't delved deep enough into looking at it to even see that. I sent up a few jokes about it because they always have to have that.
I sent you that reel.
The reel. I posted it. I posted that reel. And
tell people what we're talking about. What the reel was.
Well, the reel was it shows this guy playing all these Asian games. He's playing a Japanese game, he played a Korean game, he played a Chinese game, and it shows all the women look like, I don't know, women. And then it shows like it shows Western devs, and it's like all the women look like linebackers with like huge jaws and body positive 300-pound like rhinoceros with like a machine gun. And I'm like, what is happening? And I made a joke about it 2 weeks ago when I made that joke about you play Mortal Kombat and like Milena and what the hell is her name? Milena and Kitana. Okay, fine. They don't need to be fighting in string bikinis and you know high heels. That's ridiculous. No one fights like that. Sorry, I couldn't think of that. I couldn't think of the damn word. You know, that's a little ridiculous. Again. However, you know, fast forward to today, and all of a sudden they're wearing winter parkas. It's like, guys, you know, there's a way to do it tastefully. You don't have to be ridiculous. You don't have to. They don't have to look like those. What is it? Dead or Alive? What is it? What the hell is those stupid games that, you know? The volleyball
Dead
game?
or Alive. The
Dead or Alive
volleyball game.
Yeah, the bikini volleyball stuff. You don't have to be that. Okay, you don't have to be that. But I mean, you know, you also don't have to wear parkas either, so you don't look like ridiculous and everything. And like, I mean, you gotta notice it. You haven't noticed over the last couple of years between Sony and third party. Xbox hasn't really released much, although that trailer from Fable. I mean,
what did Lara Croft wear in Rise of the Tomb Raider? Do you remember?
Rise of the Tomb Raider.
The second one from the new.
Yeah, trilogy. She wore something that was actually like, you know, utilized in cold weather. She
wore a winter coat, but then she also had
coat and
tank top, like a cami tank top and cargo pants. And,
right. And I mean,
I think you can unlock the shorts, but then what about Shadow of the Tomb Raider in 2019?
Yeah. Actually, that was pretty cool because you got to actually buy all those like the traditional South American like warrior outfits and stuff from like the Peruvian outfits and all that. Very, very cool. I really like that. But anyways, you can't help but notice, like the last couple of years, you look at the Western developers' versions of like of the female form. I'm not talking about physicality. I'm just talking about even their faces. And you're like, what the hell is that? It's basically just a dude with like a wig. And you're just like, what is happening? Anyways, it was just a joke at first, but then the joke turns into like, maybe I'm not crazy because it's like 7 games in a row, you know. And then you see the Fable trailer, and you're like, huh. I'm like, I've seen hookers outside of Harvey's that look better than that at 3 a.m. in South Oshawa. For anybody who knows, you know. You know what I mean? So like, I'm just looking at that and I'm like, what the hell is going on? Anyways, I don't know why that came up. And it did come up because of the Concord thing. So some people jumped on the Concord thing, and then they kind of went off the deep end about it, whatever. And then the devs. But then the devs started attacking people too, and then they started doing blanket statements. All these weirdos and all this and that, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, that's not a good way to do things either. And then someone pointed out something that made me laugh because some of the people came across on the dev team seem very half-shaven head, pink hair types, right? Like very activist types. And then when they said, "Oh, our livelihoods are at risk," someone responded and say, "Oh, funny, you're the ones who always champion cancel culture." I said, "But now you're afraid for your job." And so I found that funny too. However, I'm sitting this one on the sidelines. All jokes aside, I'm sitting this one on the sidelines because I'm like, you know what? I wasn't invested in any of this, so I'm just kind of watching from the outside looking in. I didn't even read the chat to see what the hell the chat's saying right now, but I'm not looking at it right now.
Taking a little bit of look. It's a dicey discussion.
I didn't get involved,
we are on the internet. They're like, you can't just hide from all of the these are actual. I think they're actual concerns. They're actual, what's the word? They're actual topics that actually are happening. Where the joke that you were talking about that you shared was that you explained was the Asian developers like make their women look attractive, like overly attractive, like right, and it has to be said that way. I can't sugarcoat it, right? And then of course the way they dress is also another thing you have to add to that. But then the Western developers, the people that are mostly in North America or in America, are being super, super conservative. And it's actually, you know, we might have a guest on next week where we'll dive into this a little bit more. We'll give forewarning for people who are tired of hearing it. But I think the person that we bring in, you'll really enjoy the discussion. But I see people in the chat like DEI is not gone. This woke stuff and is not going to go away anytime soon. I think the money is what talks, and the money has been saying it's not going to keep going.
No, it's not going to keep going. Hollywood's already walking away because Hollywood has lost billions of dollars. The thing is, if you feel that way, and like I said before, I am not discriminate in any which way or form of how people feel or their thoughts or whatever. You can feel however you want. If you want to call me an a-hole, you want me to call me this, you want to say that, do whatever. I'm like, hey, man, cool. That's your opinion. That's totally cool. If you don't like me or don't like what I say. And I would expect the same kind of, I said, but that doesn't mean you can't eat. I'm not going to let you eat. You just won't eat at my table. But I'm not going to like let you not eat. You can eat. So, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's a kind of thing where I'm like, I'm not going to discriminate. However, if you feel, and I'm talking to the audience directly, if you feel that something is not what you want, if you feel, upset about it, or if you feel that it's a woke disaster, or if it's not,
or even if you feel like it's not cool, or it's not your thing,
whatever,
even if it's not like that,
or if you're insulted by it, or if you're any of those things, then just don't buy it. And that's the best way that you could do it. And at the end, I think the money has spoken, because from my understanding, that Concord actually was a pretty competent game. From the people that played it, I've actually heard that it plays rather well.
I played it. It played okay. It was a little bit slow.
I heard it wasn't a buggy mess.
No.
I heard it wasn't a problem. I heard it played really smooth. It wasn't as fast-paced as like your CODs or whatever else, but I heard it was a competent, well-made game. It's just whatever happened. It just didn't, whatever. Anyway,
I want to say this to move on,
sure,
that it's super important for developers to find out who their audience is and how they can draw the most customers with what the zeitgeist wants or what most people want. And I feel like pop culture hasn't been doing that over the past couple of years. It's bit them in the rear end. So we're just calling out, Meg and I are just calling out, hey, just make sure you're giving people what they want. Even if it means the Minecraft movie. I don't want to talk about this, but if it means this isn't what people wanted, and that they know better, and they should have given people what they wanted in a Minecraft movie, and they're paying severely for it, and it hasn't even come out. We'll move on now. Is that
real, by the way?
It is real. It is real.
Okay, because I didn't even...
What?
I've been so busy this weekend. I saw something about Jack Black and Minecraft, and people were freaking out, and I'm like, all right, I'll check it out later. I never got back to it. So
it's like a live action thing. It just did not go over well when people watched it. Minecraft fans are like, this isn't what we wanted. And
okay. So it's actually something merited that's actually real.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Okay. Yeah, it's
all right. I knew nothing about it. Like I said, I was out of the loop with that because I was busy. I was playing a lot of video games this weekend. Had family stuff going on. So I had a lot of stuff going on. So I never actually looked into it that deeply. Same thing with Concord. Like Concord, kind of just came in and left, and it was the smartest move. I will say this. Apart from all the politics and all the bull crap, I will say this. The smartest thing, and this is something a lot of people came after me about, which I'm like, I don't understand why, because it's exactly what they did. But it's your right to do so. 100% the reason that Sony absolutely released that at that time on purpose. They knew the game was going out there to die. Yeah. From some people I've heard, actually, I'll give Detective Seeds 100% the credit on this. I know he's in the chat there, and he was saying last week that they knew what they were going to do is that they're actually using these games as a service as research. For, and like to be able and to collect data on how how the games have done and whatever else and how it affects the marketplace. And so they basically knew that they're going to be losing money on this thing. I don't know if he was talking about all of them or if he was specifically talking about Concord. You'd have to ask him. Detective Seeds, if you're still in the chat, say something. But anyways, the point is that they knew what they had. And what did they do? I think they strategically landed it right before they also knew that Astrobot was going to be a Game of the Year contender. Because you know what? Well in advance. They're playing it, they're checking it out, they're testing it. They played it a year ago. They tested it again. They saw the final product months ago. They're like, we got a banger here.
Right.
And you know what you do? You send out that game to die. And then they said, maybe they were going to be like, all right, we'll support it a little bit, but we'll keep it quiet. But they made the decision once they realized that the game completely died on impact. They're like, that's it. Cut it off. The smartest thing they could have done. Get it out, bury it, get it out of the news cycle. And what do? A couple days later, the same day, excuse me.
Yeah.
The same day.
Release Astrobot.
They release Astrobot the same day they pulled the game offline. Smartest thing they ever did. And then what happens after that? Then 4 days after that, they're going to release the information about the PS5 Pro. Right? That tomorrow they're going to be talking about the PS5 Pro. They're going to reveal it. So
often on the show, you and I talk about what we like that Xbox does and what they could do better. And one of the things I think Xbox could do better is really strategically planning around. And they sort of did with the showcase. You know, I don't want to forget to give them credit because
was excellent.
The week before, what was it? A month before the showcase, they had massive layoffs, right?
The layoffs, yeah.
And then they wanted that. I think they did plan ahead. They're like, how much outfall? It's going to be a couple weeks of outfall, and then showcase. So we can have showcase, and then we can, people can breathe. And I think PlayStation does a really good job. They knew they were up against the wall with Concord. They had to. There were podcasts mocking them to no end. The demise, and like Concord is not a big roll of the dice when it, The Last of Us Factions 2 was a promised product that they completely shelved, and that was that one really hurt. A lot of people really wanted that game. Not a lot of people really wanted Concord. It kind of came out, hey, this is something that we're doing. And I think that, I don't know, I don't want to ramble about it, but other than say they said that they're going to do other things behind the scenes. And I think maybe in a year from now or 6 months, Concord may just show up on PS Plus, or it'll show up. I'm pretty sure it's going to show up free to play, and they're going to hope they can do something with it. But honestly, Meg, I think the cost of the servers for what little amount of people would probably play the free to play would not pay for itself. So they're probably going to be making that decision over the next couple of months if Concord is just completely done. And I think most people believe it is.
I think that the best, like I said, the best thing that they could have done is they sandwiched that right in between two amazing reveals. Astrobot being what it is, critical success as well as a financial success so far from what we've heard. And then you're about to announce a whole brand new, or at least an upgrade of a console 4 days later.
Yeah.
Concord is unless it's like really, really toxic, you're not really seeing anybody else talking about Concord anymore. It's done. And that's exactly what they wanted. They knew what they were doing. This was planned. This was 100% planned. They're like, send it out to die, kill it, just so we could say we released it. Because if you don't release it, that would be even worse. Because then people would start asking questions. What happened? What happened? What happened? Look at what happened with factions. That went on for months. Right? And it's like, you know what? You send it out to die, forget it. Then you release Astrobot. Game of the Year, everybody's on the Game of the Year bandwagon now. 4 days later, you got Cerny with his ridiculous haircut. He comes out, and then he does his PS5 Pro reveal. What Concord?
With the haircut his mom gave him, Mark Cerny?
His mom what do you mean he didn't his mom
let's talk about that.
With a bowl on his head.
you put the salad strainer on, and then you cut your hair.
That's right. He just snipped the scissors across.
I want to talk about that because I think Firewalk and PlayStation knew after the open beta, I bet you they had almost 100% certainty that this game wouldn't survive, and they just had to release it anyway, knowing they would have to come up with a contingency plan, which was refunds. But you're right. They're turning around. They've got Astrobot, which we talked about at the beginning of the show, and then they're going to show the PS5 Pro. So that's a big deal tomorrow. Dude. That's what?
No, Jimmy Cap is like, sounds like Cap. No, it's not. That's 100% what they did. If you know anything about business, that's exactly what they did.
They've been planning the PS5 Pro reveal for a while.
No, not that reveal. We're getting to the Concord and the Astrobot and PS5 Pro reveal. That was 100% planned. I'm going to just willy-nilly just say, oh, let's talk about this tomorrow. Like, they know well in advance what they're doing.
I'm going to back Mag up on the idea that they probably sped up the closure of Concord, knowing that reviews were going to drop for Astrobot, knowing Astrobot was going to be a high 80 or a 90, right? They probably were very, very confident of that. And they probably thought, look, we can't keep this thing on here for a couple weeks. Let's get it over with. People are going to be playing. I mean, everybody's playing Astrobot that has that PS5. So
that's what I'm saying. It succeeded. It's 100% succeeded. People are still talking about it, but how many? Not many. Now everybody's playing Astrobot. Everybody's talking about Astrobot. Dude, you know what it is? I've already said it a million times. You know how the public is? Public is very simple. the great unwashed, as the royalty called them.
Mm-hmm.
You dangle a set of car keys behind the camera. You dangle a set of car keys behind the camera to make the baby look when you take a picture. Hey, little Johnny, and then the baby looks up and they take a picture. That's the same thing with the general public. It's the same thing. Oh, this thing sucks. Oh, guys, look at Astrobot over here. And then everybody goes, oh.
Hey, and I've conversed with those people on social media. They are that simple.
And it works. It works.
Yep.
It works. And then all of a sudden they go, oh, you're done with the dingling of the Astrobot? Look over here. We got a PS5 Pro. And everybody goes, huh? And then they all look over that way. Dude, it's so simple. If people can't see it, that means that you're one of them.
Yep. Well, Mark Cerny's going to talk about the technology of the PlayStation 5 Pro. It's a 9-minute presentation.
Dude, he's got 9 minutes. You got to talk fast. He doesn't talk fast.
I thought that's so weird. 9 minutes. Like, if I was going to reveal an AI-powered boosted PS5, I would want time to talk
20
about.
Minutes.
I would want time to show the games, show some of the biggest games, and I'm sure they will, but I'm a little bit afraid, Mag, that he's going to show another PowerPoint presentation.
Oh, God.
With graphics of little boxes and arrows pointing to memory RAM spool and crap like that. I don't know. But
it's going to be like one of these, like, hi, everybody. Hi, hello, everybody. I just want to talk about the PS5 Pro for 5 minutes here. I got 9 minutes, and then as soon as I'm done talking, I'm going to walk off the stage. I don't know why I sound like that guy from South Park, but I do. And
sound like
with my silly haircut, and we're going to talk about some things. And it's got a new racing stripe. That's neat. Isn't that nice? Okay, everybody. We'll see you guys all in the fall. Have a good day. And then he's going to leave, and then that's going to be it. Like, what could you cover in 9 minutes? Like, you should do side by sides. This is what I don't know. I'll pull up a game out of my butt here. Here's Black Myth Wukong. This is what it looked like on the PS5 Pro. This is how it ran on the PS5. Or sorry, the PS5. This is what's gonna run like on the PS5 Pro. Ta-da! You know, this is whatever. This is Dragon's Dogma from Capcom. It ran at barely 35 frames per second. Here's what it's going to look like on the PS5 Pro. Ta-da! You know what I mean? Like, show people something tangible that they can understand, because not everybody's a tech head, right?
I think that's what he wants to do. He wants to talk about the tech and the architecture and the PSSR. He's going to say that a bunch of times.
I'm not a tech guy, okay? But if you present me with something tangible, like saying, okay, I mean, I'm also not stupid, but I mean, at the same time, present something that's entertaining, saying, here's Exhibit A. This is how it played on the base PS5. This is what it's going to play like on the PS5 Pro, and on and on and on. And you pick the biggest games. What, Colt?
Mav, fun speculation in the chat says, hey, everyone, this is Concord running on the PS5 Pro. Come on now.
And he just shows a blank screen.
He goes, we forgot to delete that slide.
As you can see, the frames per second are really high on this. 120 frames per second and nothing but a black screen. All right, I'm going to go get a cereal bowl and cut my hair again. Everybody have a great day.
Shout out to Lotus Esprit. It's Lotus Esprit's birthday today. Happy. I don't know how old they are, but yeah, happy birthday.
Lotus Esprit?
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess 36.
36 years old. The ripe old age of 36, when everyone, can really figure the world out when you're 36. I got to mow my lawn? Crap. Hey, it's all right.
Yeah.
We got, before we dive into PS5 Pro, what a PlayStation show this is turning out to be. Hey, it's been PlayStation's week. What can we do, right? Red Wolf was the one that let me know. Thank you so much for the $5. Red Wolf, stop sending me supers. See, he says Lotus Spree's birthday today. And shout out to one of the most generous and supporting people in the entire gaming community. You rock, Lotus. Devil horns with a lotus flower in the middle. And Red Wolf learned last week, Mag, that Lotus Esprit is a car. He didn't know that was a car model. He's like, what? I didn't know that.
Who didn't know that?
Red didn't know that. The Exige.
Oh, Red. I thought you meant Lotus Esprit didn't know that a Lotus Esprit was a car. I'm like, dude, you named yourself after a car. You didn't know it was a car. No, I've driven a Lotus Esprit. Yes, they're. I don't like them. They're very light. Does that make sense?
They're very small too.
Well, they don't have. Yeah, they're compact, but like they're very low to the ground. But I drive a lot of like high performance cars, not like not mine, but like, I get my hands on a lot of this stuff.
Mhm.
I don't like them because when you try to hug too tight, it almost feels like you're driving like a go-kart. And like when you're turning like let's say you're going on a go-kart like in a little track at like whatever, your local whatever. Yeah, and you take a turn too hard and you always feel like you're going to flip over. That's what a Lotus Esprit feels like.
Oh geez.
Yeah, it's awful. I hated it. Yeah.
Well, you got to put cinder blocks in the floorboards, bro.
You put cinder blocks on that thing, it's going to sink into the ground. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Lotus Esprit also gifted 5 channel memberships. Thank you so much.
Did he answer how old is he? Did he answer how old he is?
No.
Lotus,
I mean, who wants
answer, dude?
Nobody wants to say how old they are. I don't blame them.
You got it.
Well, you told people how old you were when you played or when you watched Star Wars. Because hey, rest in peace to James Earl Jones. We lost James Earl Jones today, and a lot of people are like, "Oh my gosh, it's so sad." I'm like, he was 93. He had a luxuriously amazing career. He's amazing. He did great things.
He did amazing things. He did incredible things. He had a long, full, and happy life. Very successful. He never got caught up in the news with any bad stuff. You never heard of like James Earl Jones got caught, doing this, that, and the other, or he was, heard saying this and that. He always kept on the straight and narrow. And
James Earl Jones got caught with his hand in the cookie jar. More to 11.
Yeah, like that never happened. So he led a happy, straight and narrow, very successful life, and living to the age of 93 is a blessing. So God bless the man. Rest in peace to a legend.
What would you say you'd be thankful for him for doing besides the voice of Darth Vader? What is your memory of him?
Playing the Snake King in Conan the Barbarian. That was one of my favorite roles that he has, and by far the greatest wig of all time, only next to Rick James. Because he actually kind of looked like Rick James in that movie. He had like the long black hair. Chat, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I could picture Rick James, and not because of Dave Chappelle, but yes. If you know James Earl Jones wearing the wig in Conan the Barbarian, what a fantastic role though that he played in the movie. Outstanding. He played the Snake King. He's the bad guy in the film. And isn't that your nickname online?
He turns into a giant snake. No, that's my nickname in the in the streets. Yes. APIMB. What do you mean? Is this a PlayStation podcast? They're the ones with all the hot news of the week. What do you want us to do? Make shit up?
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Phil and company have been laying low, like hunkering down.
Playing Astrobot.
Yeah, he probably
He's
is.
literally playing Astrobot.
He probably is. Most of the PlayStation news stuff is front loaded here on the show because it's all brand new. But
on systems where Game Pass exists. On systems where Game Pass exists. On systems where Game Pass exists.
I could just keep doing that. I could do that for the next hour.
I put out a video Saturday.
It was very nice.
Thank you.
I love the little jab, by the way, you little.
Oh.
You didn't think I was going to hear that?
I love saying that. So if you haven't watched my video, if you haven't watched my video, a couple weeks ago, Mag had heard a hint about maybe Crimson Skies coming back. So I wanted to include this in my video about dormant franchises making a return. And I said and if you watch my videos, like I'm way more serious in those videos than I am here, which is why I love this show so much, especially being in the show with you, Mag. But I said industry insight. No, I'm just kidding. My co-host, middle-aged game guy, because you've been getting a lot of crap from little turd nuggets online who don't like when you share information you're hearing about. Sometimes there's the battle of who hears what first, or there's the I don't like the news that he said. So I wanted to do the whole industry insight. I'm just kidding. So yeah, I did that in the video, but yeah.
Sorry, I was just responding to Jesse Darby in the chat.
I know. Nice, I hear a silence for a second. And I go,
no. I was like, yeah. No, I was talking.
I appreciate you.
Darby. What's up?
I appreciate you
in a good way.
Yeah,
in a good way.
I want to talk about some of that stuff a little bit later, but this Mark Cerny thing. The what? Who?
Sure. You want to talk about Mark Cerny?
Yeah, I want to talk about Mark Cerny. Let me read. God Emperor Soaking says Pepperidge Farms remembers Concord. I don't know. I think at this point, why? I'm done. I don't even know why I even talk about it. And then Grandpa Barbecue's Game Cat gives an Australian $10 super and says, Mag would. I know.
Yes. Yeah.
He says, Mag, would Sony have instructed Firewalk? That's what they're making Concord. If so, would be bad if they cut them and didn't let them develop what they want. That not written the best way, but
I get the gist of it.
Yeah, okay,
I get
go
the
ahead.
gist of it.
ahead.
I don't really know what happened behind the scenes. I know that someone like Detective Seeds would have a better idea. I know he speaks to more people on the Sony side than I do, although I do have some people on the Sony side, just not as many. But I don't know what happened back there, what their plans were, what was going to happen. I think that Sony probably had more faith in the game than they let on. But then until the reveal, the proper reveal, and the feedback from that, I think that they started getting nervous. And then, of course, when they had the open beta, that's when I think they realized they had a stinker on their hands. And that's when they're like, okay. And that's when you get your emergency meetings, right? You get your emergency meetings, get everybody in there. Guys, gals, let's sit down. Let's talk this out. Let's figure out what we're going to do with this game. It's not going to hit. It's going to say, all right, well, you know what? It won't be a complete loss. Let's call it an $80 to $100 million research project as to what to not do in the future. You can write this stuff. You know what I mean? Hey, man, you take losses all the time. It's going to happen. You know what I mean? Xbox does
extra
it.
big.
You know, Sony does it. They're all taking, Nintendo, not so much. But those two, they'll take losses when they try to take chances, whatever else. And I remember, what's his name? Julia Gulia there talked about it way back, Hiroki Totoki. He was talking about, like, sorry, man.
You always blindside me with that reference. I never remember it. But go ahead.
It's so, anyway, I think it was him.
Or is there a nickname for names? That rhyme with each other? Is there like a like an onomatopoeia type word? Is there a word like that?
I have no idea. Kind of like Tony Baloney, Hiroki Totoki, like Tony Baloney, Hiroki Totoki, Julia Gulia. It's all the same thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if it was Hiroki Totoki, anyways, but someone did say from Sony a while back, is saying, like, listen, if we have 2 games that hit out of 10, it's a success, because those 2 games that hit, and I told you about this a long time ago.
Oh, like Helldivers could make up for all of Concord's failings financially, right?
So what they do is, at the end of it, if they have 2 hits out of 10, the rest of them could lose money. The money that they make from those 2 big hits will cover all the costs of the other one, plus profit on top of that, and be able to raise their stock. And of course, that helps with the portfolio for investors. That's how Hollywood works. That's how the gaming industry works. That's how the retail business works. It's all the same thing. It all works out the same way. And so they've already made their money, and so they're okay with that. So they use it for, like I said, I don't want to misquote Detective Seeds, but he did say, they said that they've been utilizing it for something positive, this bad experience for something positive, and look at it for research for the future. Whether that's true or not, that's up to anybody's, like, if people be like, oh, that's full of crap and this and that. That's fine. You could say it's full of crap. It's no problem. But it is what it is.
Nobody really knows.
So I hope I answered your question as best I could. That I could just speculate, because I don't actually have any real answers as to what happened behind the scenes, but a pretty solid, educated guess as to how it went down.
But one of the things that Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat was asking was, do you think Sony told them to make this type of game? Like, hey, we need a live service game, like,
yes, of course they
like
did.
a shooter or something.
That's
Will you guys
Sony.
do that?
Of course, that's on Sony.
Do you think they did?
Because didn't my buddy there, isn't he the one that started this whole games as a service project?
What, Jim Ryan, your buddy?
Yeah.
I mean, he was ushering in that plan. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. So 100% they told him to do that.
Yeah. And then it sounds like some leadership. I wouldn't bank on it, but that developer sounded like the complaints were that the leadership was telling them to make their characters a certain way. But
sure.
I don't know.
It's a mess. That's all I know. Listen, you want to stick to success, and you want to make a great amount of money, do whatever. Microsoft can do whatever they're doing with their publishing. Go right ahead. Be a publisher. Make a crap ton of money. Make your billions of dollars. Do whatever you're gonna do, as long as you're putting, like, your game's third party and all that kind of stuff. Make your money. You want to stick to something that's been successful for decades and decades and decades. I mean, PlayStation has been very successful, obviously. But if you want to get away from this experiment, this games as a service experiment, look at Nintendo. Their
Yeah,
business
yeah.
model has been the same from day one to now. And if you think that's going to change with Switch 2 or whatever the hell you want to call it, you got another thing coming, because it's absolutely going to be the exact same thing. It's just better technology, better a better utilization of the tech, and certainly more networking involved, so that they be able to bring more users into the ecosystem. That's all it's going to be about. But the business model is going to stay the same. And Sony, now that they've done this little experiment, I think that, from my understanding, they still got 2 or 3 more. We're gonna wean that off, and then you're gonna start getting your Uncharted 5s. You're gonna start getting your Days Gone 2 eventually. You're gonna get your Last of Us 3s and your God of War, whatever the hell's whatever. On and on and on, right? You're still gonna get all that, and that's gonna happen. So it's gonna shift ever so slightly and evolve. And then, Alex, what do you want, man?
Let me see. I think I have to go to this. Let me get this fixed in here. Yeah, there it goes. And then I got to move the names.
Where's this?
Wait, when I think when he brings his
face.
camera on, it'll move his location.
Let's see if he achieved.
This is such a perfect time to bring in OhnoitsAlexx.
No, oh no! I just want to say, oh no,
because we're about to talk about Mark Cerny's presentation of the PS5 Pro, which is supposed to be the absolute PC killer, better than any GPU.
Oh, come on, who believes
created.
that? Nobody believes that, Colt. Come on. I saw Alex's tweet today. I can't believe that there's actually real people out there like that. Like a PC, you can literally just buy. It's like a pay-to-win situation. Depending on how much money you've got, you could basically dominate. You know what I mean? If you got $4,000, you could dominate. Have one of the best PCs in the market. It's a pay-to-win gaming console, essentially.
I mean, who's going to buy this console, Mag? What's the?
Me? I'm not a PC gamer. I'm not
Okay.
a PC gamer. It's not that I don't have the money for it. I'm just not interested in it. I'm not. It's, you know me. It's not my thing. It's just not. It's not what I want to do. I will stick to that. I'll stick to the PS5 Pro. I have no problem with that.
So,
although my son wants to be a PC player, so I slapped him, and then whatever.
Yeah, I saw Alex arguing with a lot of people about how it's going to be better than his current GPU and all this other stuff.
Not a chance.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't looked into the specs of Alex's current PC, but I would assume with his RAM and the RAM on the GPU that he has. What's that?
Yep. Sorry, no, nothing. You said it, not me.
That he's got like over 40 plus gigs, and the PS5 Pro will probably have maybe 18, maybe 20 gigs of RAM.
Oh,
are you there, bro?
There's that awful voice. It's finally come through.
How are you, Alex?
Sorry, I was naked and had to get dressed.
You didn't have to do that for us. Not for me anyway. I would have been fine, nude.
But I can get
By the way, my
undressed
latest
right now if you want. That's not a big deal.
There's
my
two
latest
of us.
video.
What the heck?
Let me tell you
Have
something.
you seen my live streams? You know what that's like, right?
My latest video, Alex. My abs are better than yours, so you got some work to do, buddy.
You think your abs are better than mine?
100%. At least in the one shot that, like, from an angle.
Give me a second.
Yeah. All right.
Give me a second.
Okay.
I'll bring
all
him
right.
on.
Okay. All right. All right.
Hold on. They can't see him yet. Hold on a second.
Folks, he dehydrated himself for 2 days before he did that. Okay, it's like when they shot Wolverine. Wolverine did eat. He ate what did he eat? Beans and tilapia for 3 days, and then they shot the abs scene.
I just had 4 IPAs, by the way, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my goodness, he's on. What? The people can't see him?
No, not until I bring it in, which I'm doing in real time.
Steel Facts, what's up, dude?
Yeah, there we go. Almost got it. There's like a million buttons here to hit. Alex, how are you?
Lord.
How you been?
Doing,
What's going on?
What the heck is going on with this?
I finally got unbanned on Twitter. That was nice.
How long were you banned?
A week.
What happened?
I told so a little tweet by Denuvo came across my timeline. And they were gaslighting people into saying that Denuvo doesn't cause performance issues on PC gaming. And I told them to KYS with the low tier god meme.
Okay.
Do you know who low tier god is, Mag?
No. What are we talking about?
So you should type low tier god, LTG, KYS yourself now. It's an entire rant how he talks about how you should KYS because you're a waste of oxygen.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
okay.
I gave him one of those. I gave him one of those.
That's
I got it.
That's about the only thing that gets people suspended or whatever on Twitter. Like people say everything and anything.
Because fuck Denuvo.
Yeah, I mean it's been proven
wow.
that
Yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Straight-
yeah.
yeah, it's
I know what
proven.
you're talking about
Straight
now.
up.
I know what you're talking about.
It's
So
100% proven. They did like a little image, like, oh, it's a pyramid, like Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and they were like, oh, we don't cause issues in your game, and it's like, yes, you do. Like, it's literally proven you degrade performance by 20% at the minimum.
Chat, don't look this up, okay? This is not for your virgin eyes.
Yeah, you do. Look it up, chat. Look up low tier god, chat.
Ubisoft normally uses de novo, right? Who else uses it?
Ubisoft uses de novo and their own proprietary CPU DRM on top of an always online Ubisoft Connect.
And this is so people can't like crack and copy the game.
And
And
then
they
the
put it
game
on
still gets
console,
cracked and
too.
copied about a week later. Yeah. No, I don't know if they put it on console, but it does get cracked about a week after it releases. So usually it's a waste.
Jeez.
So that's why I told everybody to actually go ahead and buy Warhammer Space Marine 2, because that does not have any DRM whatsoever.
Interesting. By the way, how are you liking it? Colt, can we talk about this while we got him here?
What, Space
Talk
Marine?
about it.
Yeah, Space Marine. No, we're going to talk about Space Marine.
Please.
Yeah, let's
I
talk
want to
about
know. I want to know what your thoughts feel like. And I heard a couple things, and I'm interested in the game. However, does it feel heavy? Does it feel clunky? Like does it see like very cumbersome, like the armor, or is the movement nice? Like, tell me about it. I want to hear about it.
Have you played the first Space Marine?
No, I never played the first one. That's why I'm talking about it. I've obviously played.
You should play the first one.
All right. I'll check it out.
You should 100% play the first one. So
You have to get on
there was
PC, though.
a tweet. There was a tweet by Wooly Gamer who was saying how, which I had to make fun of him for, that he was saying how there's no crowd control. So Mag, I'm gonna explain to you what Space Marine is, right?
Mm-hmm.
The crowd control. You're the crowd control. You can do anything you want in that game, Mag. Like that game is literally designed for you to have a complete out of body experience as you play it. It does this thing to where you parry an attack, right? As you parry an attack from an enemy, you then can do an execute move to where the camera will zoom in to this, like, so you're behind, right? The camera will swish around and zoom in to the other side, and then it'll show you holding your gun out, and then it'll put a red reticle on the xenomorph's face, and then you hear the best sound of a gun firing,
Really?
and the best chunk sound of your life. That game, and it doesn't use Unreal Engine, it uses the Swarm engine. You ever played World War Z?
Yes.
So it's World War Z,
Yep.
that same kind of engine. And literally there are thousands of enemies on screen at one time. And they are literally just like there's at one point in the beginning where there's a giant pit where they all run into, and then they start crawling upon themselves to get over the ledge, and they continually get over the ledge until if you leave them alone, they will all get over the ledge. It is
So essentially it is like World War Z, the movie, as opposed to the
it
game.
is,
Respect.
but you need to play but like it is. So take Gears of War, right? And make it good. That's what Space Marine 2 is.
God damn it.
Yeah,
You make me buy this now.
You got swarms of
swarms
of xenomorphs.
What CPU do you have?
I'm
What
not
CPU
using.
do you
No.
have?
I'm not playing on PC.
Get it on your Xbox instead.
Yeah, I heard that the Xbox is performing better than PlayStation. Yes.
It was dropping down to
Way
like
better.
32 frames on the PS5, and then dropping down to like 55 on the Xbox. Why is that?
Really? In both in performance mode?
Probably just the way the engine is designed to take more advantage of compute units.
Yeah.
Probably. I
Interesting.
mean, that's more than likely it. Like a lot of like the problem with Xbox is they're stuck on DirectX, and DirectX sucks donkey dick. It's just not it's not good.
It's a good thing
It's
Colt
not
left for that.
Like I prefer Vulkan 100% over that. Absolutely. And so they're just stuck on it. They're stuck on this
Bro.
like this UWP thing where you don't even really get executables. That's why like Game Pass on PC sucks. Like it's not good.
It's
they
bad.
like hide
Yeah.
your files in your PC. Like it's so stupid. Like, you know, like that's why nobody uses, like, well, not nobody uses it, but
Are they still
Excuse me,
doing that?
but-
Because that used to drive me crazy. Where the Xbox
So I think
games on
they've allowed
PC, you can't just
Yeah.
link them into Steam, so you can have everything in one place because they hide the.
yeah, you can't link them
executables.
into Steam, but I think that they've allowed the fact that you can get into your files now to make mods. I know that they did that with Nier Automata, if I remember correctly, but like it's been like I just personally don't use it because of how badly it's designed for PC users. It's not like it's so crazy how a company that makes an operating system can't make an actual app to use properly on your computer. I can't figure that. Somebody explain that.
Steam
to
is
me,
right
please?
there, and they don't even try to emulate the great things that Steam is able to do.
How about fixing this issues that Steam has? You know, how about that?
What?
They could just go onto the Steam forums and see what people are bitching about, and they just do that.
Jeez,
How is that so hard?
I don't know.
That's what gets me angry about like the Epic Game Store too and shit like that. But either way, yeah, that game is Space Marine 2 is the only game that's pulled me away from Path of Exile.
Interesting. All right. I've been hearing
And
a lot
I
of
have
good things about
1100 and I have 1100 hours in the Path of Exile. So
it. Oh, I thought you were
At
for some reason,
PAX,
I was
at PAX, they had this huge floor space for Path of Exiles, in Seattle.
for PoE 2,
Yep. And there were people just loaded up playing it. I'm like, geez.
that game PoE 2 is going to be it. If you thought Diablo 4 was bad, right? If you were like Diablo 4 was not a good game, you're going to shit yourself as to seeing to what 9,000 people couldn't do and what 150 people can do. Because Diablo 4 had 9,000 people work on that game.
What?
The silence is
9,000?
astounding.
How many support
just
studios are we
9,000.
talking
City.
about here? Maybe, how many support studios are we talking about here? I mean, it's
I
obviously
don't know,
not
and I
just,
don't care.
it can't just be
It's-
Blizzard.
It is. They had $9,000 the amount of people working on that game,
Yeah. Okay. All right.
and
Jeez.
just ridiculous garbage came out of that game. It's like nobody played that game. And when you play PoE, you're just going to be like, oh, okay. I'm picking up what they're putting down. I'm reading what they're writing. I'm drinking what they're serving.
Hey,
I'm catching what they're throwing.
Hold on, Alex. Jesse Darby says, the thing is, I've seen Colt lock his videos behind memberships. I have a right to complain about that. That's my opinion. Jesse.
Cook his ass. Cook his
Jesse.
ass. Cook his ass.
I create my videos in the late evening like Alex does. And what I do is I put them for channel members that night at 11 o'clock when I've done rendered and uploaded and set up the video. So they are able to watch that either late at night or an hour before they wake up, because I put my videos out at 7 a.m. So my channel members get early access to my videos for 10, maybe 12 hours, and then they're fully public. So no, I don't lock my videos. I just give people that want to watch it that night instead of waiting for the morning. And that's like, I don't know, not many people do that, I guess. They just put their videos out, but that's just one thing I've been doing for a while. So I'm sorry if that bothered you. I don't know, Alex, what do you think about me locking my videos like that to channel members? Speak on it.
That's fine. I mean, if it's just like the same night, that's not a big deal.
Yeah, I usually
Like I'm very against member content.
YouTube yells at me if I release a video after 7 o'clock at night and says your audience doesn't watch this time. So I always wait for the morning.
I just schedule it. What's the chat for this? Is there like a chat tab in here?
No, you have to go to YouTube. I don't know how to do that. I'm just a small time streamer.
Bro,
Alex, tell us what you think
in Discord. Do you have like a
Oh,
here
yeah,
it is. I got it.
yeah.
I'm fucking stupid.
Are you sending me a chat?
Yeah, no, look. There you go.
Okay.
9,167 developers worked on
Come
Diablo
on.
4.
I would love to know,
Jeez.
like I said, I would love to know how many studios. Because now, this is obviously before the Microsoft acquisition, so they didn't have what is that? What is that they do? The 18-month contract thing where they bring these guys in and out. You know, every
Yeah, but
18
this is
months when they're working on
ATVI,
Halo.
bro. This is Activision Blizzard, dude. You know they did the
Right.
same thing.
Well, okay, so they
You
do the
only,
same
like-
thing. So mercenaries, basically, they just send them in, send them out, send them in, send them out. So I could see it adding up, like, because it's certainly not 9,000 people working at Blizzard.
So
Directly.
if you watch a lot of the Diablo, not the campfire chats, but if you watch the like developer commentaries where they're playing the game,
Right.
then you see their job titles. It's like secondary manager of tile sets in maps. It's like okay, it's one of these where it's like 10,000 people work together to do one thing that one guy could do over the weekend because that's
Today
what
I'm
they wanna
making the
do.
brick wall.
How did
Fast forward 4 years.
how did we all get laid off from AI? What's happening? What happened?
Yeah.
How did we
and
all
it's
get
like,
laid
oh,
off from
no.
AI? This is a travesty.
Like, oh, you wonder why? Yeah, exactly. Colt, I'm telling you, 60% of this industry in 5 years is gonna be gone.
Yeah. Alex, have you
5
ever
years.
tried going on
5 years.
Copilot or ChatGPT and asking him about "Oh no, it's Alex" on YouTube?
No, do it. What's it say?
You want me to do it live on the air?
Do it
Yeah,
on the
do
live
it,
of the
do
air,
it,
man.
fuck it.
It'll be
Apparently,
pretty
it was
cool.
fantastic what he said about me. I loved it.
Some of it
was,
wasn't
really
right,
happy about
but
What did it say? That you're
What can you
you're
tell me
gobble the
about-
gooby? Is that what it said?
"Oh no, it's Alex" on YouTube.
that. Here we go.
Did it say you're a gobble the gooby?
Yeah. Thanks, Greek boy. I
Hang on a
don't think we're supposed to be allies, okay? We're supposed
I'm
to be
Cuban. There's no allies here.
Come on, where's it going?
I thought you were
Takes on
Greek.
gaming news and controversies. He frequently discusses topics related to Xbox and PlayStation, often highlighting the fanboy culture surrounding these consoles. His
They
videos
got it.
typically feature commentary on recent gaming news, reactions to industry events, and critiques of various games and gaming trends. PlayStation
Yeah, they got
fanboys
it.
go insane. Xbox acquires Activision Blizzard. The Game Awards nominees are a joke. PlayStation
Yeah.
fanboys defend the worst PS5 exclusive ever made. Alex also
Yup.
streams live, where he interacts with his audience and provides more in-depth
Oh, no.
commentary on gaming topics. He has a
Okay,
Patreon
good.
page where fans can support his content creation.
Nobody
Are you a
go
fan
there.
of his
It's like $1.
content,
Nobody
or
go
is there
there.
a specific video or topic you're interested
That's
in?
it. Yeah,
Well,
the-
it's very- Cole-
I didn't have it
Cole,
turned
do
up,
me a
but yeah,
favor.
it called you by
when
name.
it talked about the live stream, I got kind of scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was going to say he typically takes his shirt off for $50.
So if you look at the
slaps his ass
AI,
and sits down, yeah.
there's an AI thing for YouTube now, and it did this thing where it was like, because we were talking about something, and it was like, I talked about how like I got my vasectomy, and
Those are great, by the way.
now and the first thing I said was, the only thing that pulls out in this house is the couch. And
I remember that.
and then
That's
who was talking
fantastic.
about that?
That's fantastic.
Oh
good
my
shit.
gosh.
That just
good
made my
shit.
whole night. Thank you for that, by the way. I'm stealing that
You're
line now.
welcome.
Hey man, my factory got closed last year too, so I'm stealing the line, but I'll
Yo,
give
that
you
was
credit.
that was the best decision I ever made, dude. Let me tell you.
Oh my
what.
god, it's wonderful. Yeah, I'm gonna use that, and I'm gonna quote. I'm gonna just be like,
Bro.
"Oh no, it's Alex came up with that." They'll be like, "Who the hell is
My
that guy?"
my doctor that did my vasectomy was talking to me about wrestling the whole time while he was
Dude.
pulling wires. He's
You
like,
know
you know
they
that
were
one
playing on the
wrestler?
What?
Yeah. He's like pulling the wire, holding on to it and
Yeah.
tying knots. And he's
held
like,
held a vas deferens in between the teeth.
yep. And he was just, just talking about wrestling. with
Tying
me.
knots.
Yeah, he was
Well-
like, hey, you know this sheep shank nook? You know this one?
Mine
Did
was.
you get clamps or did you get like the laser?
I got the laser. So what they did
I
is
got
they
the
put
laser.
a skull incision.
you got cauterized.
It wasn't even
but-
incision. Sorry, it was a needle, and they pulled the
Yep.
situation out, put it on a petri dish, cut it, cauterize, tie, push it back in. That was it.
Yeah.
It was done.
That
It
was
was
it.
done in like 3-4 minutes. I was listening to Run DMC's "Walk This Way," and before the song was over, on the
Finished.
radio, on the whatever, he was already done and he was out, and he was already on to the next guy. That was it. I felt
best-
so used.
The-
No bedside manner. Didn't even stick around to cuddle. Nothing.
Tell me it wasn't the scariest nut you had when you first had to crank one out after like
Yep.
a week after a week.
Yeah,
of it.
it
That was like
hurt.
the most terrifying nut.
And it hurt.
It hurt for you?
Yeah, it hurt.
It didn't
Yeah, it
hurt
hurt.
me.
Look at poor Colt. The scariest thing for me is when the guy said, "Okay, I'm going to hit you with the freezing, and it's going to feel like I'm hammering you in your balls with a stapler." I'm like, "What?" And he goes,
Yeah.
"Tink, the tink, the tink, the tink, the tink," and I was like, "What?" And then that was it.
You're like,
Then it was
what
done.
the shit?
Yeah, and then I just had a frozen bag of peas for 3 days. I played Last of Us 1 remaster, or whatever remake.
I was
and
playing
it.
Mass
I was
Effect
good to go.
3. Mass Effect 3 was out. Yeah. And I had the bag
Yeah,
of peas.
I went back to work after I finished my.
Oh, I didn't bother.
I
just
got on the
was
phone with my
forget
wife
it.
and I
I'm
said,
waiting 3 days now.
I walked out of the office to my car. I go, I guess I'm done. I'm going to drive home.
Hey, game adaptation newscast. This is the new topic.
Yeah.
But wait, Cole, did you
Seems
have
like
like
new
10 kids, bro?
topic.
No, I only have 3. But yeah.
3? That feels like 10.
It does feel like 10. Yeah. And then I took the,
Fuck
you know,
that,
you have to
bro.
wait till you've, fired the rifle 20 times or whatever. And then you take a sample
20
in.
times, man. Twice a day, baby.
Yeah. I wanted to get that done in 3 days. And then I carried a little paper bag like Eddie Murphy in Beverly Hills Cop. I'm like, sweat dripping on me. Yeah. It was amazing.
Alfonso Mendoza, I see you, buddy. I see you. Don't worry. His comment got
Oh,
blocked,
man.
but I
Bro,
got to see it.
The X and C stands for the Xbox Nutter Cast.
Hey, Colt,
Yeah.
calm down, Colt. Anyways, what
Uh,
are we talking about?
so I gotta get Alex's take on this about
Sure.
Mark Cerny's like blessed 9-minute PowerPoint presentation. How scared should PlayStation or PCMR dudes be for this new hardware
Literally
tomorrow?
zero and none.
What are you expecting?
It'll be a 9-minute feature. Mark Cerny will talk about what they've done well, what they needed to improve. There'll be no games shown with the power of the PS5 Pro. They'll talk about what they'll do. They'll talk about the GPU. They'll talk about ray tracing and upscaling. And then what they'll probably show is like Spider-Man with ray tracing. And
It already has that though.
No, but they'll like an increase in frame rate or whatever the fuck, or like a higher resolution with the ray tracing active, or like a different type or something like
Okay.
that. Because that was a good showcase for ray tracing for them. I don't know if they'll show, people saying they're going to show Wukong. I don't think they're going to show Wukong.
It's
but they
not
might.
their game.
But that's yeah. So it would be stuff that they would show, right? So
Yeah.
I don't. It's a 7700 XT with a 3600 AMD CPU. That is a $700 PC that you can get off the shelf. That is literally what it is. It's not going to go anywhere. It's just going to be your regular, like, oh, okay.
Are they
and if that thing's
boosting the
$700
CPU, the processor on there?
No,
They boosted it again.
Like
'Cause
they
it's
said they were
already,
going to overclock it or some shit. Like, but it's a 3600. It's a Zen 2 processor. It's
they're expecting 10% increase in CPU processing
you
on
know
the
okay. What's 10% of 100?
110%. What? What's 100? 10% of 100? Yeah.
What's 10% of 100?
Why are you
10.
asking me that? It's 10. 10 of
Because that's what
what?
they're going to do.
Okay. 10
If your
more.
CPU is running at 100%, and they're going to be like, oh, we're going to boost it 10%. Like you're not going to get like magical numbers.
Okay, so if they've got this PSSR AI frame gen, is Grand Theft Auto 6 going to be 60 frames only on the PS5 Pro?
No.
Why not?
No shot. Because it's on the Zen 2 CPU.
Is Wooly Gamer going to buy 3 of them for his house like he did Concord?
100%.
You know that he hates so much that Gaz and I got to hang out in real life. He was so
Do you
pissed.
think there's going to be
Did he really get that mad?
He got
Well,
mad.
why?
He's like, how could you hang out in real life with a guy who photoshopped some guy's dead wife? I'm like, well,
Oh my! Whoa, Jesus! Dude.
Wait, what?
Oh, I remember that. I
What?
remember that. Oh, I remember that beef.
What?
That was not a good. Oh, Alex, you missed it. This was not a good.
don't know
beef.
about
That
that?
was. I was.
oh, he would have made a
utterly-
video about me if he did know about that.
Ooh, shish kebab. That was bad. Yeah.
What
oh,
did
that
you
was
do?
Oh God. Yeah. Tell him.
Well, we'll have to talk about it offline. It's a good show. It's a good show.
There
It's
was
great.
one time where I told a guy that I was going to bang his dad, and he was like, my dad's dead. And he put a picture of a grave, and then I Google image searched the picture, and I was like, that's way to go to pull it off Google, you fucking clown.
But you know, the best part that you told him, you said, well, let's dig him up and have another run at him.
I said, well, let's dig him
Wow.
up and let's get us another.
Jesus Christ.
Mag, let me tell you a little
What just
secret
happened?
about Cerny, right? You double down every time. And then when you double down,
Always
what you
double
do?
down.
you triple down.
Always double down.
Never give
Always
up.
double down.
Never give up.
You never
You ever watch
relent.
Swingers? You never what? Yeah, you never
I mean,
relent.
look at Dr. Disrespect. You're gonna be okay as long as you double.
Oh my goodness! Did you see? Like, you see that 236,000 people came to watch that stream, and he went off.
Yo,
Holy!
he was not monetized, and he was still getting $100 donos directly through stream.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
It was insane. But Twitch had to pay him
Bro,
out. Twitch had to pay him out, eh? Twitch had to pay his contract. They had to honor the contract.
I think he's gonna sue again.
Yes, he
I
will.
think he's gonna
100%.
sue that Cody Connors guy.
The Cody, was his name Cody Carson? Cody
Cody
whatever the hell his
Connors.
name.
Cody
Cody Carson. Cody Connors. Yeah,
what's gonna happen is he's gonna sue Twitch again because he was an employee for Twitch.
Right.
He's gonna sue them again.
Yep.
And then he'll sue for defamation to Cody Connors.
Yep.
Now here's the ticket. If he wins the defamation case, right, that's a whole other ballgame. If he loses that defamation case, that's a whole other ballgame. Because people are like, "Oh, he's innocent now," and it's like, I don't think so, buddy.
That's
like
not...
he literally said, he said what he said, and if you listen to what he said, he goes that the person was of age in the place where they live, which to me tells me that they're either 16 or 17, depending upon the state they're in.
What?
My understanding, if they honor the contract, though, will he be able to sue beyond that, though? That's the thing, because I heard that Twitch has to honor the contract.
So he'll sue Twitch because Cody Connors was an employee of Twitch.
Yes.
Who falsely broke the NDA.
Yep.
So he'll sue Twitch for that. Then he'll sue Cody Connors for defamation. And then and you didn't know about that, Colt? The majority of states, like the majority of states in the US, the age of consent is like 16, not 18.
Oh, I didn't know that. No.
Yeah. That's why Doc said what he said, the way he said it.
What did he say? If you go back and you listen, he said, where that person lived, they were part of they were like in consent, or it was consensual. I see.
So it's not that they were 18. It's that where they lived, he wouldn't get in trouble. And it's a real scumbaggery tactic to do. That's a very lawyer response.
That's the world he has to live in too. Because...
And like, to me as a dad, it's like, yeah, listen, you better shut the fuck up.
Yeah, understood. Yeah, there's no question. It is what it is. But at the same time, he's looking to protect his capital at that point, right? So he's going to say whatever the lawyers tell him to say.
Whatever they're going to say.
What they're saying, listen, you're saying this. You're just a trained monkey. When you're on trial, or when you're in the public eye for any kind of legal battle, you are a trained monkey. You are just reciting what they tell you to recite, word for word.
There is a clear way to solve that problem, and that problem comes in the medicine size of 9, 45, and 50.
Oh, by the way, Alex, you got to fix your mic for special.
No, I think he's using his mic. Tap on your mic for me. Now tap on the mic on your headset.
I don't have a mic on my headset.
No, he doesn't. No. Yeah, I could tell when he moved his head. I was watching you. I could tell it was coming out of your shirt. They think it's not
causing trouble. He's causing problems in the chat again.
Do not mess with your mic. It sounds fine. It is a little lower because you're closer like this. That's not that stuff doesn't bother me. Sometimes people in the chat, they get really I don't know. They get picky about the sound. As long as it's not totally screwed up.
Shut up. Don't say anything. I'm just catching up. Hold on. No, something's wrong.
It's coming out of your mic though. Just go into Discord and take it to default and back to Shure. You should sound a lot like me because Mag has a different mic than we do.
So they're not using Streamer, they're using Discord.
Jesse Darby, to answer your question while these guys figure it out, yes, I'm going to help Noof out a little bit.
Yeah, we're on Discord, so he's coming through at the right volume, and it sounds like a studio mic to me.
Skill at will. These guys, this chat doesn't even waste 2 seconds, eh? Already, the XMC, the Xbox Mimecast.
Yeah, yeah.
We were silent for 20 seconds.
I'll read a couple supers here. We got
Yeah, go for it.
we got Hargy Johnny with the $5 super chat. Says 9 minutes of Cerny talking will feel far longer than Concord lasted. And he said,
You know what?
"Rest in peace, James."
You know what? He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Cerny is not a showman.
No.
He's a tech guy, and that's fine, but he's not a showman. So there's no question. Hargeet, I'll give Hargeet that one. And of course, I'll give it
What
to
about
him, James Earl Jones. Sound great to me.
You sound great to me. I mean, you sound it's
Yeah,
the
Sounds
same.
fine to me, yeah.
Yeah. Do me a favor.
Fuck it.
Back
This
up on your
Australian
mic and then
piece of
come up
shit.
while you're talking.
Oh.
No, it's a Shure SM7B, bro. You have to
Same.
you have to be this close.
Yeah, this is I don't talk like this all the time on my mic, but yeah. It sounds like what it's supposed to sound
You
like.
have. It sounds like what it's supposed to sound like. Yes.
Yeah.
Special Nick's double downing. He's double downing. I'm always fucking right.
Hey,
you Gronk.
hey, we told him.
Hey, how did the F
You
word
double
get in
down
there?
him.
I thought it was blocked from the
What do you-
chat.
No, it's not.
Well, guess not.
What was blocked from the chat?
Hey, Nick, where's your buddy, by the way? I haven't seen him in a long time.
Nick is like the deformed version, Australian version of me. That's the issue.
Yep.
Where's Risk It, man? I haven't seen that guy in forever. What happened to him? Did he just like retire?
He's still around. He's still around.
Dude, I haven't seen him at all.
Well, you blocked him. No, I'm just
I never block him.
Ichabod Crane with a 5 says, I tried the Game Pass thing since it came out, but I'm over it. I'll just buy the games I want. Somehow I find Game Pass boring. Do you know what I mean? Yes, most of the games on Game Pass over the past 2 years have been most games I don't want to play. And Meg and I have been harping on Xbox for the past couple of years. They need to quit putting in these little rinky-dink games. Well, Hargeet loves them, but they need to be getting out there and trying to become the de facto place to play games a la carte. And they don't do that, and they still don't have all their big games out. So, yeah, I don't blame you, Ichabod. Mag, you also unsubscribed for
We
a
need
while.
to stop fucking around and just put prototype on there.
That'd be nice. I unsubscribed for what, a year and a half from Game Pass because I'm like, this is not worth it. I thought to myself, if there's anything that was going to be substantial that I wanted to purchase, I'll just purchase the game. It'd be cheaper than to keep me subscribed to the service that I'm not utilizing. Right? Okay, fine. My 9-year-old daughter's playing a little gator, that little gator game in Goat Simulator. That's great, but I'm not, and I'm the one paying. Right? So at the end of the day, if I want something, she wants something, I'll buy her something for $5, and then I'll go buy the game a la carte. Because
That's what
for me, it makes more sense.
That's what I wanted to say when we were talking about Concord and the choice of how characters look. Like, stop. You need to sell to the people that are buying the games. The masses want Space Marines. That's what they want. They want First Descendants. They want. I don't understand. Oh gosh. Johnny drops $150 and goes, "Here you go, Pickle Trek. Are you sure they'll dance?" Thank you so much.
Hey, hold up. Hargy doesn't drop $150 in my streams.
No, he doesn't, does he? Well, Hargate, you got something to do now, buddy.
Bro, holy
What's going
smokes. On? I don't know.
Now, hey, man, you just hey,
Colt,
talk to Hargate.
Colt, you need to take off your clothes, Colt.
I am not ready for. Hey, when are you getting one of these?
Wow,
he paid you $150.
See how fast the conversation. Oh, by the way, is that the YouTube? Is that the YouTube plaque?
Yeah. When are you getting one of those, Alex? Where are you at right now?
I don't know.
I'll get it before he does.
74K.
Did you hear that they shrunk the size of the
plaque?
Yeah, I heard.
Yeah,
it's smaller.
Yeah.
Stupid.
One of my friends just got one, and he told me that it's like half the size now. And I'm like, come on, are you kidding me? It's like you jumped in a
the money that people make on YouTube for that company. And
yeah, I know.
The old plaque, the first iteration had like the glass jewel logo. Now it's just a glass mirror. But anyway, yeah.
Well, hey man, I mean it's still something, but I mean they did shrink it down in size. And then I know somebody else, Drunk 3PO. Go sub the Drunk 3PO piece. He just crossed 100,000K and he's outstanding. Anyways, so yeah, when he did that. So, and then he's like, yeah, dude, it's like half the size. And I'm like, come on, are you kidding me? I'm like, that's crazy. But hey, it is what it is, man. It's a milestone. Enjoy it. And it's something you carry with you, right? And then
the next one is $1 million. So
yeah. And like that's what Gary from Nerdrotic just got his 1 million, and now he crossed from 1 million, then he went to 200,000 above that in like literally weeks, because then the exposure changes, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, your entire like everything just exponent. Like YouTube is one of those things where once you start, you're like, oh, this sucks. But then when you start growing, it is like an exponential multiplicative
exponential
growth.
growth.
Snowball.
Yeah,
Snowball.
Geeks and Gamers, same
It
thing.
is. It is.
They
it
shot up.
is multiplicative. Yeah.
They shot up from 300,000 subs, and then they just did today. I did their celebration. They got 400,000 subs in a few months. Like it went up 100,000 subs in a few months, and then now he's like, our trajectory is going to head us to 500,000 before the end of the year.
Jeez.
I'm like, holy Christ! And like, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it just
but
grows
what's
exponentially
crazy
because the
is-
exposure changes.
Subs don't mean shit.
No, it
No,
doesn't.
they don't.
No, it doesn't.
Subs don't mean anything. The only thing I look at, like your actual subs, are when you go to your analytics and you go to where it says returning viewers.
Yeah.
Those are your actual subs.
Yep, that's
Like
what's
your
yep.
your actual subscribers. That's what it is.
Yep.
But
I
like,
mean,
that's
I don't
still,
know.
like,
It-
I mean,
it's-
it'll happen. It'll probably happen in 2 years.
You think that long? I don't think that long.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, you can look
I
at
think
a
it'll be 2 years.
graph. It's about like that. Could be a year. Just depends on what starts happening. But
Also depends on what keywords you punch in for your titles, your thumbnails, all that kind of stuff. The keywords is what is also a big thing that brings traffic, right? Because when people research, they look up whatever the new hot list. That's all the Hollywood guys do. All the Hollywood YouTubers, all they have to do is put in the Acolyte. Boom, the traffic comes, right?
my
Because they
God.
want
Oh, yeah,
everybody.
because people are
Everybody
looking
jumps in
for
the
it.
same. They go looking for it, right? And then that's where they find it. That's where they get the engagement. You put Trump between now and November, right?
And so what's funny is if you've noticed, traffic on channels has like exponentially decreased. Like
Yes,
views
it
have
has.
gone down. Like
Big time.
and why do you think the reason for that is, guys?
I don't
like to hear
know.
your theory personally,
Yeah.
but let me hear what you have to
It
say.
is
I have my own
literally
theory.
the election.
Well,
What?
You think so?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
what do you mean? It's like I feel things have exponentially dropped over the
And
past
all of
year
July
or so.
July is always bad. July is always
July's
bad.
horrible.
But if July's
Why?
always bad,
Why is
January's
July
bad,
so
July's
bad?
bad. It's just
Everybody goes away
everybody's on
doing
vacation.
stuff. People are going outside, touching grass,
Yeah.
touching each
Oh,
other.
for
whatever
people
they're
like for people like me, like we cover the
each other.
showcase, and then the showcase is over in July. Nobody's talking about gaming news. Yeah.
doing. You know, the thing
Yeah,
is
it's also July's a slow month for gaming news too.
Well, the other thing is that they also, I heard that I've been hearing from some of the even bigger guys are telling me that they're slowly walking away from live live podcasting on YouTube because YouTube is actually not prioritizing them anymore because you can't stick advertisements on the live stream. You can do it on the replay.
Who told you that?
Yeah, some big guys.
Well,
You
they're,
can't do
they're
what?
fucking dumb.
Well, that's what I'm hearing. I'm not saying it's fact. I'm just saying they're not prioritizing live streaming as much as they used to. And I looked at some of those numbers,
They've
and some of
never-
the big guys, the numbers
They've
are
never
down.
prioritized live streaming.
Yeah.
They've never prioritized live
ACG
streaming.
just made a new channel
live
just for
streaming
his
costs money.
podcast. Yeah.
He made what? Sorry. Yeah, but
The pro-
ACG is like
He's at 1 million subs, but he made a
He's
new
at 1 million
channel for
subs,
his
for
live
Christ's sake.
podcast because I think he feels it still hurts viewership on his
It
on his regular
doesn't. It
videos.
doesn't hurt viewership. It does not. It does not hurt viewership.
okay. So
That is-
so
that
he
is-
took 1 million. So on his million sub channel, he doesn't do the live stuff anymore. He does the live
He
stuff in a
just
separate
moved
channel
it
now.
this past week, I think, or a couple weeks ago.
I'm starting to believe it. Whether it's
I don't
right or
know.
wrong, I'm just saying.
Bro, if that was the case, then every single time I did a live stream on a Saturday, my next video would be in the tanker.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense. What it is
Nick, I know what you're
the
saying, dude. I'm
content
just saying.
you're
This is what
either
I'm hearing.
talking about doesn't matter, or the content you're putting up is like you could do a live stream and not do a live stream and still get the same result if the content isn't what people want to watch.
Right.
Fair
If I did a video on Saturday about dormant franchises that Xbox needs to revive from Activision, and not a lot of people watched it. It has nothing to do with my live streams because the video before that has a lot of views. So I don't know. I don't really believe
it's
No, I'm not
all,
saying it
like
hurts
all
the
that
channel.
stuff.
Yeah.
It's like live streams are live streams. Like I have a YouTube what's it a liaison. I have a YouTube contact that we have a meeting every month.
it. Okay.
And I was like what is it? She's like just July. It's just July. And I was like, yeah, it's just July.
Oh,
Like that's
okay.
what it is. Like they even separate your live streams in a different tab on your homepage. So you don't even have to worry about that. What'll happen is if you like that content, right? And the issue is this with live streams. If you scroll past the live stream and you don't click it and your live stream is up and people are going to like, oh, I don't really want to watch that, but I'll watch this other video instead. And they're still going to serve your content. But if people like clicking your videos and if they're not clicking your thumbnails or they're not returning to your content afterwards, then they're not going to care.
Yeah.
Like don't think of it as algorithm. Think of it as audience.
I do not think of
That's
things as
how- that's-
algorithm. I think of this
Algorithm
video
doesn't
failed
exist.
because no one cares about
Yeah.
Blur and Forza right now. Yeah, that's what
That's
I.
exactly
That's what,
why it failed. Yeah.
Yep.
You know, it's the key words. If no one's punching in those key words, regardless of who they're sub to, if they're looking for something specific to talk about or to listen to or listen about or what they want to hear about, they're not going to go to your channel. You know how many people I'm sub to that I don't even watch? The same idea, because they're talking about stuff that I'm not currently interested in. I have like my 4 or 5 favorites, and then I have a couple of the outsiders, like another 4 or 5 of them, and the rest of them, I'm just sub to them. But yeah, it's the key words that you utilize. You're not utilizing them properly, you're not gonna get it.
Alex,
You know
are you
what I
gonna
really
make
got into recently?
what's that?
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask
DSP
you
detractor content.
the what?
Dark Side Phil detractor content. Oh, I got really into that. All of a sudden, I fell down that rabbit hole. You guys know Dark Side Phil?
Yeah, yeah. He's the guy
man, I got into
that
detractor
is he
content.
the guy that Review Tech USA went after for like 2 years?
Yeah, that's the guy Review Tech USA went after for 2 years, and then like that whole thing happened with RT. Like I got into that, bro. That fell down that rabbit hole real bad. Just watching DSP beg for tips has been the most like cathartic thing I've ever seen. He's like, "You guys, the contributions are low. You guys, we got to contribute more to the stream. You guys got to get your tips in." And I'm just like, bro.
Did you see that streamer that
Jesus.
complained that he'd only gained 9? I think you might have retweeted
7,000
subs.
Twitch subs.
Yeah, in what, a week, or what was his time he was complaining about?
6 days.
He's like, I'm working every day. You could take an hour of your month of your wages and pay me. I couldn't believe that.
Yep.
This dude like regularly
Yeah.
dyes his hair green, so it's always green. And I
Dude,
put color
I
in
don't
my
know
beard
what people watch on
sometimes.
Twitch. The only person you should watch on Twitch is fucking Kai Cenat. It's like Kai Cenat and Cinna. If you're not watching Kai Cenat or Cinna, I don't know what you're doing on Twitch. And Asmongold, obviously. But like Cinna is one of the best female streamers, hands down, period. Like her content is unbelievably good. And then Kai is just a powerhouse. Like he's an absolute powerhouse. Like the guy does stuff that nobody else does.
Jeez.
I could never do it. I could never do the Twitch streaming because I can't focus on what I'm doing and then looking at the chat and talking to them. I could do it on a podcast. Obviously, I got 3 screens going. That's not a problem. But like to be able to focus on a game and then and then yip yapping with people in the chat, talking about this, getting your chats, getting your this, the donations and everything else. It's madness. I don't know how the hell they do it. I don't know how the hell they do it without going
play in
insane.
a window. Play in a window, just put your chat next to the game window, and that's it.
I know, but like if you're like you're playing Call of Duty, I like to focus on the game. I'm in the game.
You have to be good.
You got to be
Your
good,
job.
but
You
like
gotta be
that's
good.
crazy.
You have to be good
That's
at the game, and you
You
have
either-
to be able to multitask and
I mean,
be
I
able
can
to
multitask,
play
but,
well
like,
while you do it.
That seemed like the
Guy,
staying
you're-
engaged with
you're
the
not-
audience.
No, you're not. You're thinking of it wrong.
I have no
Okay,
I have
are
no
you-
intention of
are
doing it.
Are you a professional Call of Duty player?
No.
Okay, so then if you're not a pro, I'm not going to watch you because you're a pro. Why would I watch your content if you're not a pro Call of Duty player?
Fair.
I mean, these big
But I mean,
streamers
no,
are
no.
really good at the
Yeah,
game.
Think
they're
about
playing.
it. Think about it. Think about it, Mag. Think about
If
it.
you're
If
gonna-
you're not
if
a
you're gonna
pro
watch
Call of
me-
Duty player,
You're gonna watch me because I'm entertaining and I'm engaging with the audience.
that's it. So what's more important, your gameplay or the art or the engagement?
No, fair enough. But I mean, like
Yeah.
to try and like you'd have to still be at least reasonable. Like you don't want to walk in there with 1 kill, 23 deaths every time you're playing because you're too busy talking to Special Nick in the chat. You know what I mean? Or like,
It's like if okay, let's say you're fucking horrendous at Call of Duty, right? And let's
Right.
say you're really, really bad. Every
Actually,
time,
that's
let's
a
say,
good angle, though.
and what you would do is you would play something like Kill Confirm, where you have to pick up the tags, right? Every time you pick up a tag, you have to do something that is not embarrassing. Every time you don't pick up a tag and you die, you have to do something embarrassing. And then your chat gets to engage in the fact that you are then embarrassing yourself.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's a good idea. Why aren't you doing it?
That's how you. What do you think I do? Have you seen my streams?
Yeah, I watch your streams. Yeah, I'm just saying, like,
okay, then you know
that.
exactly what
Like
my
the
streams
comedy.
are.
Yeah, it always starts with a good a slap on the ass though when he starts his videos.
They're insane. My
that's
streams are insane because what
He's
I've
wearing
done
cat
is I'm
ears,
just like,
shirts
you know
off.
what?
Yeah.
No, he
the
still wears
thing
his
is, like,
shirt.
why-
He still wears his. He's got his boxer briefs on. He slaps his own ass. He sits on the chair, does his thing. I watch it.
The thing
that's
is,
usually
like,
the-
what
those
you
are
have
usually
to
the
do
recording.
is no, for my live streams, I can't stand YouTube streamers that will ignore their chat completely. I think that's such a horrible thing to do to chat. They're
Yeah.
there out of their own free time to watch you.
Yeah.
So what I just did was I said, chat's going to control the stream.
That's what you decided early
And
on.
I just gave full control to my chat. And my chat runs the stream. They do it. It is 800 to 1,000 people doing whatever they want, and then what happens is they collectively become a hive mind, and then they all pull together to do dumb shit to me. That's like what like everybody like the problem that I have with streaming is streamers think that they're above the chat. No, other way around. Your chat's supposed to be above you.
Yep.
That's me.
Agreed. No, it's not you.
That's me.
That's the proper way to do it.
You're at the
you would
mercy
be
of the
there,
audience, always. No matter
but
what
you
you're
also
doing.
wouldn't be there without the chat.
Yep.
It's like we talk about it every
Exactly.
week, Cold. Like we talk about all these guys in the chat. Everybody, even when they're talking smack about us or this and that, we get into arguments, or I have to call them out, which I haven't had to call anybody out tonight. Nobody, not one person by name. You realize that? It's been 2 hours. I haven't had to call out one person in this chat because everybody's been actually really nice, for the most part. But
you call them the fuck out. You call them out.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you give them what they deserve.
Oh, I always do, and it's usually a highlight. That's
You
usually
call
when I
them
call
out.
somebody. I see what is it?
No.
I see what you said.
You call
I
them
see
out.
what you said.
I see what you said, but listen, tonight it's actually been really good. Although Alfonso, you're very close. But no, not yet.
There's Magnum. Oh, there's what's the foot?
No, Magnum actually, you know what? Magnum is usually he's my rival. Magnum hasn't said anything tonight. He's actually been really nice for the most part. I mean, he is what he is.
What's with the
there he is,
foot?
Magnum.
Bring that back
Magnum,
up.
Call me out. Magnum, you've been all right.
I have 3 of them. Do you want to see the other one?
Yeah, let's see the other one.
What's with the severed body parts you have lying around, by the way? What's that all about?
So I'll tell the story, right? So I'll show you this one. This one's got a pussy in it right there. If you want to see that
Oh
one.
jeez.
Demonetized Colteastwood. I hope you enjoyed it.
YouTube likes that sort of thing.
Dr. Dry Rub, cut it out.
Basically, so Dry Rub. Basically, what happened was I used to live in a little city called Dade County, Miami-Dade 305, and there's a thing called patas sucias, which in Spanish it translates to women who have dirty feet. And what that means is, you're right, Colt. You good? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Keep going.
I think he's gonna pass out. Yeah.
You're gonna pass out. You're gonna lose a couple sponsors. You okay? How about you text Phil?
Phil right now is going that's it. His Game Pass.
Text Phil.
His Game Pass money just dried up.
How about you text Phil to text me and I'll fix Diablo? How's that, huh?
Phil, I've got a foot for you.
Yeah.
Okay, go. There you go.
I got a guy for you, Phil. And so patas sucias are women who go to the club and they take off their shoes and their purses and they put it in the middle of a circle that they make and they dance barefoot in the club.
Okay.
So because they dance barefoot on club floor, which is full of needles and dirt and glass and bullshit, you don't want to take those women home because they're dirty broads. They're dirty birds. And so what we call them is patas sucias. So I told that story one day to my chat, and then they just took it and they were like, well, you brought those women home because you have a foot fetish. And I said, I don't have a foot fetish. And that was the problem. And right there, I fucked up.
Because
When I
now
said
they
I
want to
don't-
send you. Wait, is this?
Because now they're
one-
saying, yes, you do.
You know what?
It's a meme.
The game
It's a meme.
adaptation newscast just won the internet for the night. He said, "Stop pussyfooting around." So, all right, there we go. That's it. Thank you, game adaptation. That was wonderful. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Colt, I have the boogie, buddy.
Oh yeah. It's
Where
time.
you going?
Yeah. No. I got someone. I got.
He's got to do his taxes.
I got reasons. No, it's work related. So yeah.
It's Monday night.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. We're my work don't sleep. So yes.
All right, Mag. We'll say goodbye
race
to everybody, and I'll spend a couple minutes here with Alex, and then
Yep. And I'll catch the last tail of the show before I go to bed. But either way, guys, chat, you guys were amazing tonight. Nice seeing you guys. We hit over 700 people tonight. That's good. I'm happy with that. Let's rock it. We're gonna do it again next week. We got more things coming, more topics, more things to talk about. Colt, Alex, you guys are amazing. Chat, you guys are amazing. We'll see you guys all next week. Everybody have a good night. I gotta bail.
See you, Mag.
There you go.
I'll wait for him to turn off.
All right, so let's actually talk about games now that Mag's gone.
Unreal. I can't change the overlay until he leaves Discord. We were talking about Mark Cerny.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is gonna be a big ordeal here. The 9 minutes of pure
Tomorrow's
Xbox.
gonna be hilarious.
Yeah. So how's it gonna go down? Because I have a feeling that this thing may boost. I think there might be some 30 frames games coming up for even PlayStation. I don't know what's going to happen. What's Mark Cerny going to say? Mag needs to leave Discord.
Like my honest opinion, like he's just going to say that he's found ways of just improving. Like the same. If you go back and look at the PS4 Pro announcement, he's going to say the exact same thing.
Okay.
That's exactly what it's going to be. It's probably going to be word for word, bar for bar, what they did for the PS4 Pro. I mean, what else are they going to do, right? Oh, we found some opportunities that we can increase performance to help developers out. We've seen ray tracing really have an impact on our games, and we want to make sure that we provide the best experience for our customers and our gamers. We've created our own upscaling technology, which can utilize, our resources for our console in a more effective manner, and it'll be proprietary. They'll have access to it. They can apply that with patching in older games and whatever. It's just going to be like that. I mean, it's going to be 9 minutes. It's not going to be this super detailed, in-depth thing like where Mark Cerny was there with the PS5 launch, where they had fake people in the crowd and they would do like the fake coughing thing when he was talking about SSDs and the cracking compression. Like that's like,
of the people like they were sitting there watching it in the studio.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm not like, it's not, like what I would like is for PSSR to actually be in their PC versions of their games. Because I want to see how it works against like FSR and things like that, and like DLSS.
Yeah.
But do I think it's going to be this like game changer where it's going to be better than DLSS? Absolutely not. FSR and DLSS are in their third iteration already. This is PlayStation's first round. Like it's not gonna like don't expect magic in a bottle if you ask me.
Yeah. Hold on. It's like I got an overlay problem. I already fixed this. I don't know why it's. Oh, because it flipped it. Oh, crap. Let me try to turn off my camera and turn it back on.
There's two of Colt.
Turn on camera. Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous. So
professional.
That sucks. I'm going to leave it.
There's two of you.
Yeah, there's two of me, but it's like because of the third thing. I thought I had this all figured out, but
you never do.
I never do.
It's streaming, bro. It's live streaming.
It's always something.
Stuffed.
It's always something.
Yeah.
I can bring you in over here. That's just ridiculous.
That's fine.
I had to do that. But
don't sweat it.
Well, I do sweat that I spent like a couple hours getting everything set up in a better way, but that should fix it, I think.
Why? It's going to break.
It will always break. It's OBS. There we go.
So then.
So yeah. Have you been fighting with fanboys about what they think is going to happen here with
Oh, I already got people saying some wacky ass shit. I got a guy saying that my 7900 XT is on par with the Pro, and I was like, "Are you talking about teraflops again?"
And you said this thing's more like a 7700 XT, which is how much for a that GPU?
Oh, 400.
Okay. Okay.
About 400. You can build a system for $700. That's if it's the same. If it's up GPU and they ring it at $700, you can build a PC that's the same as that. It's more than likely that that's what it's going to be, because we're talking about an APU that's going to be downclocked.
Yeah.
So you're not going to get like all this ridiculous performance. Everybody thinks that they, like, do we have to go back again to the SSD and cracking and compression, all that bullshit about Ratchet and Clank being unable to be played on anything without an SSD? And then I turn around and I play Ratchet and Clank on my Steam Deck with an SD card. Like, are we really going to do that again?
They lied about that. They lied. I think that game would have ran on a PS4. But that's old news.
So they used a PS4. They used a PS4 hard drive. I think that was too slow.
Okay. Because that's 5600.
But I think, yeah, but I did a 5600 RPM drive as well, and mine ran. Like, I did a 7200 RPM, a 5600 RPM in a video. I did the Steam Deck SSD. I did my SSD, and then I did an SD card. And that video took like 3 hours to make.
Oh my god.
It was annoying as shit. But I had to do it. Because nobody else was going to do it. Nobody else was going to do it. And so, like, if fanboys really think that they're going to get this like monumental piece of technology or hardware, they're out of their minds. Like, they thought the PS5 was going to be a 2080 Ti. I remember those tweets. I remember those. Like, I remember the SSD is going to help graphics. Like, and it's like, that's not what an SSD does.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not, it's 4 years old. It's still fresh in my mind. Like, I can pull those tweets up. So this concept of like thinking that Mark Cerny is just going to come out here and do some magical shit. Now, I will say though that I think their architecture is far better than what Xbox does.
Yeah. I also think Cerny is pretty brilliant in what he does. Like, he's taken that was my other question I was going to ask you. How much is this PS5 Pro before I talk about the magic he'll do in this price console? But how much do you think this thing is?
I would like it to be $499. That would be the ideal price, because that's what it should be. But they've raised the price of the Slim. They've raised the price of controllers.
The Slim is
They've raised the
$450,
price of games.
right?
Well, in Japan, they've also raised the price of the Slim.
Yeah.
They've raised the price of your controller by $5 more. They've raised the price of your online service. They've raised the price of all video games to $70. They had a massive issue with trying to screw you out of the upgraded version of Horizon Forbidden West for your PS4 to PS5. I think, did they do the same thing to God of? I don't remember. I don't think 2018 had the same issue.
I think it was Horizon was the one that they said, okay, we're not going to charge you extra, but God of War we are. It was one of those.
Yeah, and it was, and I'm just sitting here like, it's either going to be $599 or $699, and I feel like in my gut, they want to do $699.
I do too. I'm trying to make a poll that will accurately reflect the actual options here.
But I feel like it'll be $599.
I think it's going to be $599 as well, but I think it might be $650, because we don't know if they're going to offer. They're not going
to lower the price of the Slim.
No, they're not. And I don't think they're going to have two SKUs. I don't know why people keep saying they're going to have a disc-based Pro and a non-disc-based Pro when they literally have an $80 attachable.
For $80.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it might be $650, and then they'll just say, for about $700 you can add on the disc thing. But it's really like
honestly
$720 or whatever.
What if they did $599, but then the disc drive was $100?
Well, disc drive's $80. I mean, like, it's going to be the same one.
What if they raise the price of the disc drive?
Like, all of a sudden it's $99.99.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shoot. I mean, I don't think they will. I think they'll
double over and laugh.
I think they'll just try and get you to think, hey, if you need a disc drive, with the Pro with the disc drive, it's about $700. But it's really,
I feel like the next gen, we're not going to have physical copies. I think it's done.
I think it should be done. I want to talk about that. Just to hold that thought for the disc thing, because I want to talk about that. Let me read a couple supers here. Target asked Mag, the contractor 18-month thing is just for the state of Washington and is a state law. Other states don't have that issue. He's talking about contractors coming and going for Concord, but it's like Xbox studios have to deal with that. Nate Dogg wants me to ask you, Is that the bisexual bum?
Yes, I got called a bisexual bum by Harmon Smith, a known Nintendo YouTuber. And,
Nice.
If you haven't seen his content, I highly suggest you do so. It is one of the most mind-numbingly amazing things you'll ever experience. And what I want to have happen is I want Nintendo to have the Switch 2, and I want it to be powerful enough to have all of the like Sony's games on its platform, so that way
Yes.
I can watch Harmon Smith fight all the PlayStation fanboys, because it would be as if Godzilla and King Kong were going after each other on a and he would win every match.
What are the chances that the Super Switch is what I'm calling it? What are the chances the Super Switch has
I
just
would love
enough
that.
power to get like the upcoming Ubisoft games, the upcoming Rockstar games or whatever, the mainstream games? Like, what are the chances that they're going to get enough power?
It needs to be as strong as the ROG Ally.
Yeah, but the ROG Ally is like $600 base, right? 500.
People,
I have the bigger one.
If you come to somebody and you say, "Hey, I got a Switch that'll play every game at 60 FPS from Nintendo and play every modern game on top of that,"
That thing would sell like a mother. That's
doesn't
what
matter
I'm
what
telling
they price
people.
it, that bitch is gonna sell.
Gaz was arguing with me about it. He said, "There's no way Nintendo's going to change their business model." I'm like, they don't have to change it. They just have to make a capable console, and then they could make all that money off of all those multiplats, all those mainstream games. They can make 30% on every game sold there.
Everybody wants to be on a Nintendo platform. They just don't want to deal with the hardware. And if the hardware is semi-capable,
Then they're all in.
pack it up.
Yep.
Pack it up.
Like
The amount of people that buy games on that platform is ridiculous. Why do you think PlayStation's going onto that platform?
You think PlayStation wants to put more than just their Lego crap on there?
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
I think behind the scenes, PlayStation and Xbox, they would have to definitely know what is under that skin for the new Nintendo console. And if they know it's capable, they are looking at whatever they can bring there. Because Hiroki said wherever there's compute, I think when he says wherever there's compute for their games, he means everywhere but an Xbox console. And I think that when you always joke, you always say whole slate, right?
Whole
In your
slate.
videos.
It's all there.
It's all there. I think PlayStation needs to sell their games to more than just their console. Jim and Hiroki both said in separate meetings, the console's not enough. So I don't think people are ready for it. They just think that it's a product of Xbox's shortcomings. They definitely have them. I've complained about them many times, that Xbox they don't have what it takes in certain aspects of the game industry, but them putting their games everywhere is something they have to do. And I think it's something PlayStation feels like they're going to have to do as well. And I don't think people are ready for it.
It's the entire industry. And people say, "Oh, it's not the whole industry. It's just Xbox." If that was the case, then why is PlayStation putting their games on the PC? You can say, "Oh, it's 2 years later or 3 years later." It doesn't matter. If the industry didn't have to do it, then they wouldn't do it regardless.
Well, I mean, it's not even just 2 years later as an excuse.
It's
All of their most popular games, there's like almost
don't need a
50 of their
PS5.
games on Steam right now. And they're mostly from the PS4 generation. And then the stuff that they put out already. And like one guy goes, "That's bullcrap, Colt. Where's Demon Souls? Where's The Last of Us Part 2? I'm like, that's an outlier, buddy. You
That's
just
on
gave
the
me an
way.
exception.
That's on the way. To think that those games are not hitting over, the fact that God of War
Yep.
made its way to PC. And then the sequel made its way to PC. And then they created a publishing arm specifically for PC. And they bought a company that does ports as their primary source in Nixxes. To
Yep.
think that they are not going to go full in on PC, you have to be, I want to know what you're smoking and I want some. Because because to sit here and say, "Oh no, they would never," they are. Just like never ever Spider-Man on PC, yet here it is.
That was what Insomniac said. Never.
Spider-Man will never be on another platform, and yet there it is on another platform.
I think they're going to continue to have a handful of important games only on console first, because they know they can still grow the console and have their cake and eat it too on PC.
No,
And their
it's not
PC
even
ports
that.
are great.
They're fantastic. The PC market, many of them will just not buy a console. Myself included.
What do you think is going to happen with Grand Theft Auto 5 or 6? Like it's 12 to
You
18
wanna hear a
months for the
hot take?
PC port. Yeah, let's hear it.
You want to hear a hot take? Grand Theft Auto has been bad after San Andreas. It's never been good since.
Okay. Oh, I mean, I love
Grand
them,
Theft
but
Auto.
that's
Grand
fine.
Theft Auto is 100% overrated. Garbage. It's a boring game where the only reason you like it is because it's a sandbox and because you can shoot a hooker in the face.
Well, that is a key point.
That's the only reason you like it, is because you just want to see the sandbox. Everything else is just like, why?
Yeah,
What's the
but
point of it?
It's such a polished, creative sandbox too. I don't know.
It's a polished. Okay,
Yeah, I mean it.
who gives a shit? Like,
Yeah. Are you serious? Like you don't like the character and like the
No.
lampooning of pop culture is done really well. I mean, I'm
No,
not going to
the
argue off
best-
your opinion, but those are the reasons why I
the best
like
GTA, in my opinion, was Vice City. Vice City and San Andreas were the
San
best
Andreas
ones.
is my all-time favorite, and they've never had fun factor like that since. But I still love those
because the games aren't fun.
I even look
those
back
games
at
aren't
4
fun
and
anymore.
still say it was great. But yeah,
Those games are now, how do we make this into a film that you can sit and watch, rather than actually enjoy something?
now you've played Grand Theft Auto 5.
I have no
No.
need or want to play that game.
I mean, why don't you?
Don't
It's
care.
like it's like $20 on PC. Go buy it. Crank the settings up. You'll have only use this much VRAM, and then
I'd
then give me
rather rather jack off with sandpaper than to play another Grand Theft
well,
Auto
that can
game.
be arranged. A cheese grater is actually more preferable if
Cheese
you're
grater.
looking for something that really gets it done. Hardy John.
I think Red Dead 1 is actually better than GTA. Personal opinion.
I mean, yeah, I agree. You probably would not like Red Dead 2, but I love it to death.
I probably would hate Red Dead 2. I thought Red Dead 1 was pretty good. But I like GTA. For me, the only reason GTA is popular is because of the RP.
What,
That's it.
online?
Yeah, the GTA roleplay. Have you seen that?
Oh, yes. Yeah, I have not watched a lot of
GTA
that stuff,
roleplay
but
is the
yeah,
reason-
it's a big
Is the reason that is popular.
Really?
Like
I mean,
like
millions play online and just do whatever, but maybe the ones that persist.
and people
are the
say like,
RP
"Oh,
people.
Alex, but the game has sold millions of copies, far more than any other game in existence." The reason why it sold that million amount of copies is because they would pair shark cards with new copies of the game that were actually cheaper of buying the game with the shark card than it was buying the shark card.
Well, I mean, people just couldn't stop buying the game, but I don't know.
Well,
I
just told
don't.
you why.
Sales do not tell me how good something is. I mean, it does not work.
I mean, people thought The Big Bang Theory was a good TV show, and that was really popular.
I don't watch it.
Doesn't mean it's good.
No. Hey, Hanson sold a lot of records.
yeah.
I will never listen to them. Sorry, I will not. Wait, you and I would. You and I.
Yeah,
would be
Stained was a
great.
popular band.
Who
Stained was a popular band.
is that? It's been a while. Is that who that is?
Yeah.
People get mad when
I have it. My father never hugged me enough songs.
You and I should sit down and talk about music because there's a lot of popular bands I can't
No,
stand.
you don't want that. You don't want that. You don't want that. I have been. My chat is painfully aware of my music tastes, and I get ridiculed consistently.
these
for
guitars
it.
back
I get
here?
ridiculed consistently. Yeah. Okay.
I
I'll give you
don't.
a taste. You ready?
No, I got a hot take for you. See these guitars?
I got a hot take. Yeah.
I don't like Jimi Hendrix.
Oh,
Sorry,
you're a piece of shit.
I know. Welcome to hell. What's your hot take?
I thought my takes were bad.
Yeah,
Red Hot
Chew
Chili
on it.
Peppers are overrated.
no, I'll go with that. Sure, that's fine with me.
The only good Metallica album is the Black Album.
I'll go with that. That's a good one. Okay, what other hot takes you got in music? Oh, Epic Treasure goes, don't corrupt
The only
gold.
reason people like Slayer is because of Rain of Blood. No one else even cares about their other songs.
I couldn't name another song by Slayer. I don't like Nirvana.
See? You don't
Yeah.
like Nirvana?
I don't like Nirvana. No.
I think Foo Fighters is a better band than Nirvana.
You think who?
I think Foo Fighters is a better band than Nirvana.
Oh yeah, everybody. Yeah, they are. That's objectively true.
Like a 100-fold.
They're all good musicians.
100-fold.
Yeah, they're all amazing. Yeah.
There's so many. Yeah, but like this fucking PS5 Pro thing, I've already got people like Persona like freaking out and coping about like PC gamers and shit like that on his stream. It's already there.
Really?
Like this is just going to be another. Yeah, dude. It's not. It hasn't not even out yet. Like the only way I will buy a PS5 Pro is if it's fully backwards compatible with PS4 through PS1.
That will never happen unless they actually stick those chips in there. That'll never happen.
That's bullshit. Because PCSX2 is 99.9% compatible. DuckStation is one of the best emulators ever made. PCSX3 is like 92% compatible where you can play all the games.
And it does it on modern hardware. It's all software based emulation.
Bro, my Steam Deck, it's software based emulation. My Steam Deck plays PS3 games. You're telling me a PS5 Pro can't?
I need to do that with my Ally. I haven't done any emulation on it. That's probably where it would actually shine.
It's so good.
Better.
And the this process of like people freaking out about this thing. I don't know, man. Like if I think if you don't have a PS5 and you want to get one, then get one. And get a Pro. Because if you're gonna spend $500 and you want a PS5, then that's when you'll get it, right? But don't just go out and buy it because you think you're gonna have this like higher level experience. If you want that, then the only thing to do is just to get a PC.
Well, obviously, the only people who are buying a PS5 Pro are the people who already have a PS5. I don't understand why anyone would buy. It's kind of
ridiculous, don't you think so?
Yeah, because no one's going to buy a PS5 Pro. And I would say it might have been a little bit different with the Xbox One X because the base model was so horrible.
But that was a piece of shit too.
It was horrible. What, the Xbox One X?
Yeah, that was a piece of shit too.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was. The PS4 Pro was bad, and the Xbox One X was bad.
Yeah. I mean,
do I gotta go back?
Come on,
do I gotta go back and
come on? What? What and say not everything ran at 60 frames? Yeah, yeah.
No, do I gotta pull up the video where you were talking about how you need an Ethernet adapter on a motherboard to get internet on PC?
I took it out of there.
In your own video? It out. No, where the motherboard that you showed on your own video already had an Ethernet adapter.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't
the back of the IO.
No.
And
Alex, it wasn't an Ethernet. It wasn't an Ethernet port. It was a Wi-Fi card. And then I said, you don't need the Wi-Fi card anyway. And I took it out as a joke. People got so mad at that. Like I brought it in the graphic and then I made the joke and took it out of the graphic. But yeah, you could call me out on the other stuff I got wrong. Let's hear it. 6 years ago.
Mike,
how about when you and Dealer got that?
People think I only made fun of PlayStation fanboys. Colt was the first fanboy that I ever made fun of.
Dude, you wouldn't leave me alone.
I would be on his ass all day.
Yep.
Him and Dealer and all them dudes. I used to, bro, there is a 3-hour live debate of me cooking Dealer.
Well, sort of. You were claiming that you could use the Pentium CPU in a PC build to get your build under.
You can. Just like you can go ahead and use a fucking AMD 3600 Zen 2 CPU right now. You can have a very powerful fucking graphics card and a very bad CPU. It's just the amount of frames you're going to be able to compile when you're playing the fucking game. You're not going to get.
Yeah, and to be honest, most games back then were running at 30 anyway, so maybe you could have gotten away with it.
Didn't even fucking matter.
Yeah.
Cole, don't make me cook you. I'll cook you right now in front of your whole.
I said, go ahead and cook me. What else did I do wrong?
What else did you do wrong?
You probably don't remember. It was a while ago.
It was so much.
I mean, the beginning of the generation, I thought the Xbox Series X was going to do all this stuff. It's done none of it.
Everybody did.
It had RDNA, bespoke RDNA features that no one's going to use.
Well, what is
even Xbox's own studios doesn't use them.
Tell me what RDNA means right now.
Oh, what it stands for?
No, just tell me what RDNA does.
I couldn't tell you.
Exactly.
Well, I could tell you the features that that Xbox had bespoke for RDNA, but that's about it. Yeah.
Everybody talks about RDNA 1.5, 2, 3, my balls. Like nobody. What do you mean?
I couldn't tell you
Alex?
what the standard RDNA 2 was, but I could tell you what the features were that were extra that PlayStation didn't have that nobody uses. And that
Like people
really
talk
sucks.
about like VRS and shit like that.
Yeah,
like, nobody
VRS.
knows what the hell they're talking about.
Well, I know what that is. Variable rate shading.
Variable rate shading. Yeah, good job.
It takes anything that's occluded from the screen. It knows to not have to render that, and it gives you a performance boost because it's being efficient. But nobody uses it.
Not rendering it.
Yeah.
No,
So,
because
yeah.
it's not needed to be used because you just fucking brute force it. Like everybody thinks these consoles are so powerful. They do all these things. It's not like we're in the PS3 gen or even the N64 gen when IBM was making the chips. And it was just this like amazing stuff to talk about and do all the time. And you would just have all this stuff. This isn't like people talk about like down to the metal. What does that even mean?
Liquid metal. Down to the liquid metal.
What does that even mean? This is like watching the good and evil paths like an infamous second son.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, Mark Cerny's gonna spin a tale tomorrow for 9 minutes in all of it. He's gonna spin a tale about that PS5 Pro, and I think it's gonna do some cool stuff. But are we just gonna see like we're getting 1080p right now, Alex? In 2024, we're getting 1080p at 55 frames. That's like the standard right now.
Guess what?
Tell me about it.
You're still gonna get 1080p.
No, come on. This thing's gonna have some AI upscaling.
You're gonna get. Yes, exactly. You're gonna have 1080p resolution standard, and you're gonna AI upscale it to 4K, but you'll get 60 FPS with ray tracing.
That sounds nice. I guess
that's what you'll get.
That if you have a small TV, that's nice. If you don't have a 65 like me, that's nice.
That's what you're gonna get, bro. You're gonna get like Forspoken won't be at 900p in performance mode. It'll be in 1080p in performance mode.
Oh dang! The power
you're getting.
We're going back to the saying, only the people that own a PS5 are going to buy a Pro. Because if people always forget, like the normal person that walks into a store or goes and flips on their phone looking for a console, they're not going to buy the most expensive one. Go, I need to get the Premier. I'm getting into a PlayStation. I got to start with the Premier. That's almost no one.
When I bought a PS4 because people were giving me shit about I didn't play PlayStation games, so I couldn't talk about them. I bought a PS4 Pro.
Okay.
Because I'm like, if I'm gonna play these games, I might as well play them at their best of ability. Because like I have a PC, I might as well have like a good experience playing these games. And guess what? I had a fucking mid experience playing these games, not even a good one. So it wasn't even like worth it to spend that like. It was like, oh, great. And then what happened was Death Stranding came out on PC, and then I threw my PS4 Pro into a lake. Because I didn't need it.
Yeah, we have PCs. Like, Dave D says, guys, you should all just build PCs. Probably talking to the chat. And you should go to Starforge. Link will be in his description, which I'll have to put in later.
Yes. Hook your use my
Let me pimp you out. Go to Starforge.
Yeah,
and make Alex enough money to buy a burrito.
Our computers, our logo is a dick.
It does kind of look like that, doesn't it? It's like reach into the future. How much are these PCs that they're selling?
It depends which one you buy. They start at like 700. Huh?
You hate pre-builds, don't you?
It depends on the pre-build. Like I normally don't like them, but the way Starforge builds their stuff, I'm okay with it. I like the way they're priced out. The only thing you're paying for that's extra if you didn't build it yourself would be the shipping and like the actual manual labor of building it. Because everything else they buy that you can just get off the shelf is actually at cost.
Oh, okay.
So it's not like you're spending like $4,000 on a build that's $2,000. No, you're spending like $1,000 on a build that's $800, but you're saving yourself shipping and you're saving yourself the time. Which is why I was okay with it. Which is why I was like, all right, that makes sense. Like the pricing makes sense. And if you go to,
does it take you like part of a day to build a PC once you got all the boxes in front of you? And
if I want to take my time with it and do all the cable management right, then like 3 hours.
Oh, okay.
If I'm just rushing it, like an hour and a half.
Oh, geez.
And like I don't really care. Yeah. Like if I'm just like, if I'm sitting there and I'm just like, okay, well, let me use my own Arctic thermal paste instead of just the paste that's on the knock to a cooler, or let me like make it fancy or not, then it'll be like 3 to 4 hours, sure. But if I'm just like, I don't give a shit and I'm just gonna plug it in, do it at like an hour and a half, it's not hard. That stuff isn't really a difficult thing to do.
No, it's not. What's Hargeet saying here? He says,
Starforge's ass? No, your ass, Alvaro.
how dare you talk about his sponsor that way? Hargeet says, if you play Call of Duty on Xbox, you get Game Pass Core. You have to have it. You'll end up spending $70 around $40 for Core, $70 for the game. Game Pass Ultimate is $28 for 3 months, so $112. Or, I don't know, just buy the game, I guess. I don't know.
If you well, think about it like this: if you're spending $20 a month on video games, right, and that's what by 12, so you're looking at what 240? No, I'm a little drunk. 20 by 12, 240 a year. So look at 240 a year. That's what two and a half games, basically. That's $70.
Yep.
If you only buy 2.5 games a year, you're spending the same amount of money as if you would just buy 2.5 games, which would be like Madden, FIFA, and something else, or like a couple of skins in Fortnite. There you go. That's what everybody buys anyways.
I do.
So like what, like, yeah. So even at $20, you're still making out. Now, if you're buying like 3 games a year, you're spending right there, you're spending $310. And if you try to do that, like, you're still not going to get those 3 games. You'd have to be at what, $25 a year, I think, if you wanted to do it in that aspect. But I'm also like drunk and playing a game right now, so math isn't going to be good. But it's just, you know, like it all depends like where you see value. If you're like, if you prefer to have like a high amount of games to play and you have kids or whatever, you're just like, I don't really care about like my ownership or anything like that, then just get Game Passes and get like, and if you want to buy the game, then you just buy the game and you get the discount when you've already played it. So who gives a shit?
As long as
like people make these.
Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say people make all these excuses, right? Like, oh, I want to own my games. You don't own your games. You
know
don't.
What pisses me off about the I want to own my games? How much do you want to bet that those guys over the course of a console generation buy 200 games, right? How many of those 200 games do they replay that they own, that they have forever, that they go back and reinstall them? How many of them?
There's a couple that I do it for, right?
There's a couple. Like, I replay some games, but I just think it's asinine that people are like, I want to own my games. Like, you're only saying that to fight against something that is Game Pass, because if Game Pass was on PlayStation, if they had something and they're like, if PlayStation said all of our first party games are going into PlayStation Extreme or whatever for $20 a month, they would all line up and pay for it. I think they just say, I want to own my games to fight against Game Pass. I think it's bullcrap.
People do it all the time. Like you want to talk about ownership? Like, I'll show you ownership. Like this is ownership, right? Like I have, like, this is ownership. These PlayStation 2 games, I own these. These are mine. I don't need to be online. I don't need to connect to a server. I don't have to have
every new single player game has
a download or an update. I don't need to install it. This is it. They're right here. I own these. Like the shit you buy now, you don't own that. Like you don't, that is not yours. That is, you are leasing that from them. They are letting you borrow it for $70.
This is a perfect time to ask you, because you were about to say like half an hour ago, you think that disc-based console gaming is gone after this generation.
It's gone. Yeah. 80%, it was shown that 80% of PlayStation gamers buy their games digitally.
And it's about the same, 70-80% on Xbox. I mean, I have some friends like Pushing Polygons in the chat who says he always tries Red Wolf. They always try to buy a game physical, so they own it forever. And I'm like, I love these guys, but I'm like, you're fighting against a wave that is going to overtake you. Because I think I'm with you at the end of this generation, in the mid 2020s, or toward the end of it. Yeah, I think that they're no longer going to have a disc slot in your console. I don't know why they're holding on to discs where some games don't even fit on a Blu-ray anymore, or at least I don't know. Call of Duty doesn't, but I don't know. Fonz goes, "What's the point?"
No, but they made Call of Duty its own storefront.
Why did PC go digital only?
Steam.
Steam just said, "Here it is. It's so easy. Get your game, download it immediately." Like,
but we hated Steam for years.
I know.
Like I used to hate Steam. I hated Steam the moment they tried to tie it to Half-Life 2.
Wow.
I hated Steam when I needed it for Counter-Strike 1.6. Like I hated Steam for a very long time. I thought it was bullshit. I didn't buy my games on it. I didn't anything like that. I just started pirating games. I didn't like what they were doing. So I said I'm not giving them any money. And then like 2010
Yeah.
started getting better.
I got into Steam around 2015, and I was like, I got when it was like all rounded out, everything was fantastic around 2015. I was like,
yeah,
what?
Now it's great, but it took years of people going
and
like
Xbox is like Microsoft is like Mr. PC, and they have no effing clue how to make a storefront or how to make their ports on PC. It boggles
their
my
ports
face.
are always worse. Yeah, they should have the best ports in the industry, and they choose not to.
I think there's things that Microsoft doesn't care about, and it is such a fault for them as a company. It is. They have all these things going for them, because I know that you're not an Xbox fan. I know that for sure. Obviously,
I had a 360. I have a PS3, but like,
I mean, you've talked about on your videos.
I have no like love for that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't.
I know.
Like,
I mean,
the only days I miss
videos
were hanging out with my boys and playing Halo 3.
Oh, the old days. You've talked in your videos while you're bashing PlayStation fans, which are they're one of the most ridiculous fan bases in gaming on a platform level. They're ridiculous. But you've talked about some of the things that Xbox does. It's really like giving them value and choice. I don't understand why they just can't continue to do more things. On this channel, Alex, I've been frustrated, especially at the beginning of the year, when they say one thing and they do the other thing immediately after. But shout out to the chat. If I'm looking over here, guys, I'm looking at the chat. I'm watching you guys. I appreciate you. This is XTC podcast. Hey, I'll do station identification. I never do those. Episode 165. Thanks for being here. Hit the like button if you're enjoying the show. Shout out to Fonz in the chat. You've done a Kazada, who's also moderating everything, and Epic Treasure. Hi, how are you doing? I want to flip a topic for you, because we were talking about
They've
music.
never lied to you, though.
What? They never have?
Xbox has never. No, they've told you exactly what they were doing.
Yeah, I agree.
The moment Phil Spencer told Crap Gamer, you're angry that other people get to play a game, you should have been like, they're third party.
Oh, right there. You know what? You got so mad at me back in 2017. Like, when not mad at me, but you used to give me so much crap. But you didn't know.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
You didn't know that I used to be mostly PC for a while. The day that Xbox announced all their games were going to PC, I was like, oh yeah, this is perfect. Because I game shared with a guy on Xbox. He can have the Xbox copy. I'll play it on PC. It was Quantum Break. I'm like, I don't want to play that at 30. I want to play that on PC. So I've always been with that. Yeah.
And people feel like if they don't have exclusives and their console loses value, that's a stupid argument to have.
You already bought it.
The only thing that you already bought it. There's your value. Are you having a good time playing your games on your console? Yes, you've gained your value.
Yeah, but a PlayStation guy gets to play Indiana Jones next year.
Who gives a shit? And then the year after, I get to play their game.
Yeah, that's true.
So who gives a shit?
Hey, what do you think about Death Stranding 2 launching day and date on PC?
Will it happen?
Yeah, do you think it'll happen?
Or is it confirmed?
I'm thinking it's going to happen. I think that's
Depends
one of those games.
On the agreement with 505. Because 505 did the publishing for the first one.
505 put it on
PC.
Game Pass like a year or 2 later, 2 years
On
later.
PC Game Pass, yeah.
Yeah. PC Game Pass.
Yeah.
So
It really depends. I mean, I would love it to be day one on that because I know like running that thing on my PC would be fucking great.
mhm.
Like I would love to see what it looks like and what it does. Like what I really want is for PlayStation to make another handheld.
I think they will. Next generation.
That's what I
That
want.
Portal thing is sold out at one point. It's doing pretty well.
Wasn't it like 3% of total sales or whatever, something like that happened?
I don't know. I saw
They're
that
giving it,
too,
like, a lot
but
of shit.
they didn't make a lot of them, but
I don't know
people
if
really
that's
like
the
'em.
case or not. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw the
It's a neat idea. I think it's a waste of plastic. But it's a neat idea because like all they had to do was just make it as good as a Steam Deck. And they can do that now with AMD APUs, and it wouldn't be as expensive.
I mean, the Portal's just like this.
So, like-
my Logitech GCloud. It's just
It even has, it's an Android OS.
yeah, it's just a tablet with a
Yeah, people
Yeah.
were just like breaking it and hacking it already. So it doesn't, like I would like them to really make a handheld again. And then to like have the ability to like if the Steam Deck can still play games from the PS5, then there's no reason why they can't have a handheld that does the same thing too. And look, what I would love for Xbox to do if they really wanted to push the envelope and do something different, they make a handheld that's, slightly more powerful than the Rogue Ally or anything like that. They give it an OLED screen, and then they do a Thunderbolt connector to a GPU in the dock.
really?
That's what I would do. They have those Thunderbolt, like you have laptops where you can have like Thunderbolt GPU connectors where your laptop can have outside power sources for your GPU with a Thunderbolt connection.
Because the Thunderbolt has enough bandwidth to run a graphics card?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know they had that.
And so you could just do a Thunderbolt connection to like your laptop and have like your GPU with a 4090 in a box next
But
to
you
it.
wouldn't want to have like a connected GPU the size bigger than your Xbox handheld next to it with a
I think the
brick-
ROG Ally also has that too. The ROG Ally has a connection port for GPUs, for external GPUs.
I mean, it's
like just do that.
I was playing Red Dead 2 at 1080p on that screen. Like you don't need a high resolution because you're looking at the screen's the size of my phone. But yeah, I don't know.
But if you're looking at it from the perspective of like, oh, developers are going to code for different things, then just give them the ability to do those different things. Instead of having a Series S and a Series X, you just have handheld mode and docked mode.
Oh, I've got another hot question for you. Forgive me, chat and audience, if I brought this up last week, if you were there, but I wanted to ask Alex. I think that Xbox needs to forego their effing console versions of games and just give Xbox console users next generation the PC version. Like when they go into settings, no more brightness slider. Like you have the whole thing. And Xbox console users are going to have to learn to put their big boy pants on and change a few settings. I don't want this bespoke Xbox version. Oh, we're limited because we have to port to the PlayStation 6 and then we have to port to the new Xbox console. I think if you're on Xbox, everything's already paired to PC anyway. Every game should be the PC version.
And then you'll have better PC ports.
Yeah, absolutely. And then which we believe there is an Xbox handheld, a native handheld, they won't have to say, oh, you have to build for the handheld and the Xbox Series X too, because then we're just going to do this all over again. So I say, give them the
it'll
PC
be
version.
another round of it. I think every console should have all the PC options. Every console game.
Absolutely.
I see no reason as to why you guys are stuck with that kind of shit on a consistent
Isn't it a
basis.
problem though if a PlayStation 6 owner buys Hogwarts Legacy 2 and then they've got all the settings and you're like, and they're moving everything and they're like, oh, this sucks. It doesn't run very good because they're trying to crank up all the settings and then they want a refund. I personally think that's why they keep the console versions, because like you get this version that was promised to you and
People do that
runs
now
the
on
way
the
it was
PC.
intended. Huh?
Why would it matter? People do it on the PC right now.
Yeah, but PC has like a myriad of configurations. Like I guess on Steam, you can return a game and say it didn't run like you said it would. And it's like, we have a 1650.
Yeah. So?
And PlayStation doesn't allow refunds anyway.
Well, that's there. I mean, there you go. So like, who gives a shit, right? Having the ability to actually customize your gameplay experience is far more important than like anything else. And just have it to where like you just have the settings on the back end. Oh, okay, you reset your settings, done.
You know what we wanted when
Like
when Starfield came out? We wanted to be able to pare down settings so we could get 60, and Xbox and Bethesda wouldn't let us because, as Fawn says in the chat, but gamers will be confused on all the settings.
Yep,
it's true.
It's the most ridiculous thing I've honestly ever seen. Like, you're telling me somebody can't figure out a graphics slider? Are you kidding me?
Well, doesn't the Steam Deck like have simplified settings? Like when you load up a game on the Steam Deck, doesn't it auto detect your hardware and say, here's what we have preset if you want to just go ahead and go right now? Don't most games do that? My ROG does.
Depends on the game.
Yeah. So some games, like even a few years ago, they were a pain in the sack to get them set up the first time around. Like sometimes I'll load up a game on PC and it's 480p and it's like over here on the monitor or on the TV. I'm like, but most games run perfectly. Yeah, I don't know.
It's just this concept of like people think that they can't handle a simple switch.
The drivers.
But the thing is, they're sitting there picking between fidelity mode and all these other modes, and you're telling me you can't handle like RTX on or off?
It's you want to hear a funny take? I think it's harder to calibrate HDR in a video game than it is to set up your PC settings. You ever do this where you're like setting up HDR and you're like, I got to look away for a second. It's like it's bright white box. I'm like,
you want to hear a real hot take?
Lay it on me.
I think HDR is bullshit.
Oh, come on.
I hate it. I think
I don't use it on
HDR
PC.
is just absolute. I never use it. I turn that shit off because
I
feel like all it does is just it oversaturates the image.
HDR is a real problem for me on PC because half the things I'm using in when I'm not playing games are SDR. Like I'm in Photoshop, I'm doing stuff in production, and then I go to a game. I look at a photo and I'm like, yeah. Now, HDR is amazing on console. It actually enhances what little bit you do get there, and like John Linneman gets really mad when there is an HDR. Alex Battaglia said the same thing. No HDR on
motion blur. He likes motion blur. I don't care. Like his opinion is invalid.
Motion blur is real. It's natural. What do you have against motion blur? I'm not trying to be real. I'm trying to play a video game. Yeah. Get it out. Yeah. There's no HDR in Space Marine 2. Yeah. I don't know. I don't agree with you. HDR, but then again, I wasn't using it for Red Dead 2 on PC, and I was getting the premiere experience. I couldn't get it to turn on anyway. Good screen. I have an LG CX at 65 inches. I'm fine. Like, hey, we have the same TV. Yeah. Like, I'm good. Yeah. That screen looks so good. I think Fonz has the same TV too. It's RDX great. Son of Fett, thank you so much for the $14 super. Says, remember this Phil quote? Every time we ship a game on PlayStation, Sony captures 30% of revenue that we do on their platform, and they use that money among the other revenue to quote every game on PlayStation, 30% of revenue. They name the other revenue. I don't understand what he's saying here, but they have things they try to reduce Xbox. Oh, that they use that money to reduce the Xbox survival on the market. Pepperidge Farm remembers. And Phil's going to throw a bunch of their games on there knowing that Sony uses that money to do things like Wukong. That's another fight that was I don't know if Wukong was actually money hatted. It was money hatted. I don't know. I don't know. I think what happened with Wukong is that Sony went in to help the game, and then that's where it came from. I would agree that PlayStation said we would like this game on our console at launch with PC. But then wouldn't Xbox be able to sue because of that? No, that's perfectly okay. It's perfectly okay to say, hey, if we throw some extra money out there. The problem was Wukong said, we don't have time to get the Xbox version because of technical limitations. And Xbox spokesperson said in like the ABK trial that PlayStation had to divulge like all their upcoming exclusivity deals. I don't think like that. I think it's legally not an exclusivity deal. Well, it is. It's not an. It's not. It is excluding, but for Wukong to say we ran into limitations, and then Xbox spokesperson said they didn't have any problems with the version. They basically said they're not telling the truth. And I thought, what if PlayStation wanted to kill? This is me just being a jerk. Okay, I don't mean this. Like, I don't think this is true. But what if PlayStation was like, hey, we'll give you some money to get the version ready for launch along PC, and you can just tell the press that you're having problems with the Series S, and then we'll kill two birds with one stone.
That is the most Alex Jones ass, like.
Why would Wukong say? Why would the devs say? Game Science say they were having problems with the version on Xbox when Xbox said they weren't having problems with it? I don't know.
I honestly don't know.
And why
Did
wouldn't
they say they weren't
PlayStation
having
just?
problems at all?
I don't know. I had it on last week's topics. The actual quote. I talked about it last week.
I think they said they don't. I think the quote, correct me if I'm wrong, chat, was they don't communicate or have conversations about the personal dealings of their partners or something like that.
There was multi-layers that were coming
wrong.
out thanks to Paul Tassi and Jez Corden. And when I say, of course, somebody's going to clip that just because I just said somebody's going to clip that. I'm just joking when I say, kill two birds with one stone, But somebody, hey, we're having problems. Because you can say, hey, we're having problems on the Xbox console, and you don't have to explain yourself. It's a believed thing. Oh, yeah, of course you are. Because the Series S is a problem. And it is a problem. 10 gigs of RAM.
Damn that Series S.
Hey, bro, but if that game runs on a Steam Deck, then all bets are off. And it does run on a Steam Deck, so I don't know.
It does.
It's a messy situation. But that's not the only thing.
Well, the Steam Deck has more RAM. The Steam Deck has more RAM.
How much total RAM does it have?
I think 14?
Oh, yeah, it does. That way more. Yeah. It's only 10 available on the Series S. Yeah. But I don't know. It's the whole thing's done.
16 gigs of LPDDR RAM.
RDX Son of Bet, thank you so much.
I did an experiment.
For what? For
where
Steam
I
Deck?
ran I ran Baldur's Gate 3 with I put it on Twitter where I ran it with split screen on my Steam Deck.
Oh. And how'd it do?
It's fine.
Ran at 30 on both?
Yeah. It was fine.
Yeah. I mean, I guess they never launched the split screen on Series S. I think it's left it out.
I'm not sure, but that's game of the generation, if you ask me.
Better than Astrobot?
The only game that comes close to Baldur's Gate is Elden Ring. Because there's no other game like Elden Ring where I sit there and I stop when I'm playing and I just turn the camera. There's no other game that does that. Elden Ring is the only one that does that. There's no other game that comes close. I can literally stop at any section while I'm playing Elden Ring, no matter where I am, and I can turn the camera and I'm like, God damn this game. It's the only game. And then Baldur's Gate, I'm just like, God damn this game. I could do whatever I want. Like that is like the craziest thing of all time.
And Baldur's Gate came out with absolutely no bugs. Really no problems. Like it's Baldur's Gate and
well,
I meant to say Elden Ring. Elden Ring like just was great.
Elden Ring had major stutter issues.
Well, it ran at like 45 on
Elden Ring had
Series
massive
X.
stutter issues.
Was it bad on PC?
Yeah. It wasn't good on PC.
At least they didn't have to patch
launch.
out the stealth sections like they did Star Wars Outlaws.
I would just patch out Star Wars Outlaws completely.
I'm trying to patch out her hair is what I'm trying to do. RDX Son of Fat, thanks for the $7.
Just patch out the game.
Patch out there. Hey, that's the answer. The answer is you're not going to sell games. You keep doing this crap. RDX Son of Fat says Xbox Series S and X has hardware machine learning and mesh shaders. And those mesh shaders do absolutely nothing because hardly anybody's using them. Jesse Darby, thanks for $2, says, Colt, ask Alex if getting a 590 would be worth it.
Getting a 590 or a
5090, sorry, 5090. Oh, he's asking you about an NVIDIA card.
Don't. So I used to have a 1070. I also had my first
I have one of those.
lies. I had a GeForce. What was it? 6600? No. It was a
The 660?
The 660. No.
It's a long time ago.
Yeah. I had a 580. I had a 780. I had a 1070. I had a 2070 Super. And now I have a 7900 XT. I think I had what was it? It's the same one that the 360 had. No.
Really?
7800 GT. 7800 GT. I think it had a like a mermaid on the GPU.
How long ago was that?
God, that was like, yep, there it is. Yep. I'm not crazy. Look, I knew it. I knew it. Dude, I have autism. I knew it. I had a 7800 GT. That was when the 360 came out. And it had a mermaid on the actual GPU. That's the one I had.
No, I'm looking it up.
I just put it in our chat. I
know. Well, if I go to it, I don't want to mess up the cameras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is. I remember that I was like, that's like, there it is, man. Like I had that, and then yeah. And so I just went full AMD. Like I don't care about ray tracing. I don't care about any of that. The 90 series cards are actually Titan cards. They're workbench cards. They're not made for gaming. People say like, oh yes, they are. No, they're not. Like those cards were Titan class cards. They were workstation GPUs.
I had one at work.
That's why they're
Premiere Pro and all that crap.
That's why their VRAM is so much higher than everything else. The 90 series cards are not for video games. They are designed for Blender and animation. That's what they're designed for. If you're not making Futanari Blender animations, you do not need a 90 series card.
Jeez.
Straight up.
Because
like,
you get
with the just for show.
With like the 5080 or 4080, you're getting enough performance for what you pay for.
More than enough.
Yeah.
More than enough. The 80 series cards were always more than enough. The 70 series were always the workhorse. Like the 70 series always gave you the best bang for the buck. The 60 series was always a really good starter. And the 50 series was like, oh, we're just like, we're broke or whatever the fuck, right? But like the 70 class cards were always super reliable, always ready to go. But now they're just not like, now the 70 class cards feel like the 60 class cards, and the 60 class cards feel like it's not even, it doesn't sit right. Like the 1080 Ti still to this day is punching well above its weight. 1080 Ti.
Really?
Yeah, dude, that thing runs games at like 30 FPS at like almost medium settings, like almost equivalent to like games now. Like, I think that game was even able to run Alan Wake 2. Let me see. Alan Wake 2 1080 Ti. I know they did a patch where they let 10 series cards play Alan Wake 2. So at 1440p on Alan Wake 2, they were like at the lowest settings, they were getting 35 FPS on a 1080 Ti.
Jeez.
So if you're like, I don't want to upgrade and I don't care about 30 FPS, like you're good. Like a 1080p, they were getting 51 FPS on average on low settings. You're talking about a GPU that is almost 4 generations old.
Jeez.
That is still punching above its weight. It's crazy. German Roller 90, I won't upgrade for some time. Yeah, you don't need to upgrade for like 3 generations, bro. My rule is you upgrade every other gen. And the only time you upgrade your CPU or GPU is when you get at minimum a 40% increase in performance, but you are paying the same price that you paid on your original piece of hardware. So if you had a, let's say, a 1070 and you bought a 3070, you're getting a massive upgrade in performance, but I think you were paying about the same, then that's worth the upgrade. If you're getting a 40% upgrade but you're paying 40% more, then you're not getting an upgrade. You're just paying more. That makes sense. Like you have to get the upgrade in performance but still keep the price the same. That's when you know you're getting an upgrade, because you're paying what you paid before. 7700 would be the way to go. I think the 7900 GRE is the way to go. If you're going to spend $400 on a 7900 GRE, is basically just stomping the shit out of Nvidia right now. That GPU is like, it came out of nowhere. It was supposed to be this weird like side thing, and that GPU is insane. The price to performance on that thing is wild. 7900 GRE. That GRE right now on Amazon, I'm just pulling it up. That GPU is $549, right? If you're going to spend $400 and get a 7700 XT, you might as well spend $150 more and get the GRE instead, and never have to upgrade like for another 2 generations. Like, that GPU is out of control. That GPU is out for $549. That is out of control. That's what the 80 series cards used to cost. And that GPU, let me see here, 7900 GRE. Give me a game that you want to take a look at. Apparently it is on par or better with a 4070 Super.
Okay. And how much is that card about?
4070 Super or the GRE?
The 4070 Super.
4070 Super.
Like
I know that was expensive. 4070 Super is
BT Maverick says, "Show us your sand dunes, Colt." He remembers last time. How much?
$599. So for $50 less than a 4070 Super, you're getting better performance.
Okay. BT Maverick remembers
awesome.
When you were on my show last time and you told me to take off my shirt, and it was Gaz and I said, you don't want to see our sand dunes because, floppy old man chest. But he says, "Alex, are you running out to get a PS5 and Astrobot since you're missing out on greatness? Day one exclusives with that magical vibrating controller." We talked about Astrobot. What do you think? You missing out?
I think PlayStation fanboys finally have a game.
It is a good game. I have not really liked that game.
I saw a video that it was like that they were just ripping off stuff from Pikmin and like Nintendo games.
Yeah, I mean, what doesn't rip off what these days, really?
Yeah, it's
seriously. But I mean, just
the thing is, like, Nintendo is wild. Yeah, I heard it was a good game.
It is.
I want to play it on PC.
It's good. I don't know if it'll come to PC though. I mean, it has every right to go to there, but Sackboy did. There's really no reason why it wouldn't, but
why wouldn't it?
I don't know. I feel like they're going to be stubborn on that.
Spider-Man and God of War on PC.
But the whole time you're collecting parts for a PS5 in the game. Maybe they just think that's weird to put it on PC.
So go buy a PS5 now.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Commercial for the PS5. Go buy a PS5 now. Why wouldn't they put it on PC?
I think they need to. Just extra sales. I think they want to. They will. I don't know.
They literally said, the creative director was like, "We want to hear from the PC community about Astrobot going to PC." It's going to the platform. It's going to PC. Yeah, it's going. Like,
maybe that was just to see how soon.
This cope about the controller, when the week before they launched the app that gives you all the DualSense features.
They did
literally this cope about it's PlayStation's history. Nobody gives a shit, right? It's just a console. Like, who cares? Yeah. Oh, it's their mascot now. God of War is on PC. Like Kratos is on. Pack it up.
The tribalism.
Pack it up. Pack it up. Gosh. There's no all these companies except for Nintendo is a third-party publisher, and I would even say Nintendo's a third-party publisher too, because they put their stuff on mobile at some point. So
they're the ones that are going to hold on.
You don't have exclusives anymore. What you have are timed exclusives now. So getting sad or getting angry or fighting with a PlayStation fanboy about like them saying you don't have exclusives. Just show them the Steam store page of PlayStation PC. They don't have any either.
I compiled them on Steam and shared a screenshot at one point. It was like 20 plus of their most popular games are on Steam already. It's over. They're third party.
Sense.
And their own leadership talks about their third party. What was the word he used? Their third party strategy is what he said. I have it right here.
I don't remember that directly. But I know I can get trophies on
Sony's
PC
third party plan to make PlayStation the best place to play. Yeah, that's it. SEI.
If they didn't feel that way, then they wouldn't have made the ability to log in and get trophies.
Yeah, that's totally done.
There it is.
This super is great because I think you would probably probably the best person to ask this question about how it would work. Purple Haze with a $5 super chat says, "What do you think of the rumors?" What, Purple? Sorry, I didn't hear you.
That's also a deep cut for Jimi Hendrix too.
It is a Jimi Hendrix song, yeah. Oh, I'm not going to be able to live that down. Purple Haze says, "What do you think of the rumors of the next Xbox console being able to have Steam and Epic and other PC stores on its console?"
It needs it.
Is there any type of limitation? Like, how does that going to work?
Huh? What? What are you talking about? How's that going to work? What are you, fucking stupid?
Yes, I am.
What are you?
Are there any problems with that? Like,
you just make one of these. That just has desktop mode.
Okay, I talked about that in my last big video. Yes, about how
what do you
the
mean,
Windows
is there a problem?
Would be underneath it.
You just put Windows on it.
It already has Windows. It just has to have a little bit more of Windows. There's a Windows kernel on the Xbox, but
just put Windows on it,
like Windows 11,
and you give it a desktop mode.
But would Xbox want people to have Windows on there where they could download whatever underneath their console and then brick it?
They don't care, Colt. They don't. If they cared, then they wouldn't put their games on PlayStation, Colt. They don't care. If you have Steam and you buy the Xbox game on Steam, who gets money?
I mean, I'm talking about a limited version of Windows that only allows you to install apps.
Stop. Listen to what I'm just saying to you. If they put Windows on the goddamn thing and you buy a game from Microsoft on Steam, who gets money?
Steam and Microsoft.
And boom. If you have a portable handheld that you can put,
the people are like, Gabe's not gonna want to do that. It's like, yes, he will. It'll be more places for Gabe to sell games.
Gabe's not gonna want to do that. What does Gabe Newell do? Nothing.
That's what they say. They're like, he's not gonna allow that. I'm like, he's allowing his games to be bought on this machine. Like, what is the difference?
It's a PC. All they have to do is make a PC. Look. You know who's a great example to watch about this? Who's starting to get real close to finally ascending. He gets real close every week. I'm going to push him over the edge. It's Doc Dark.
Oh,
Doc Dark gets real close every week.
Neutral.
He gets real close. Every week, the guy's like a little bit closer. He's like, man, this is awesome. I get to do whatever. I got to buy all my games on Steam now. Every week he gets, but think about it like this. You make a handheld that's a PC. You can put all your storefronts on there and you get Game Pass. When you boot the damn thing up, the first thing that shows up is Game Pass, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're subbed to Game Pass already. There's $20 a month right out of your pocket. Not even thinking twice about it because you already have a Game Pass machine. Why did you buy a ROG Ally, not a Steam Deck?
Oh, a couple of my friends said that I would like it more than Steam Deck.
Why would you like it more? Because you have what?
An Xbox.
And you have?
Game Pass.
Boom. So if you already have If you already have a handheld that has Game Pass when you boot it up, the second you do it, you're not even going to get to the other storefronts. You're just going to go to Game Pass. And then if you're like me, you're like, I want the other storefronts anyways, you're just going to install them. You're already giving them the money for Game Pass every month already. And then if you buy the game off Steam, you're giving them the other 30, like the other 70% cut that they get from the actual thing. And then I don't know, I'm dyslexic, which version of the cut I get, I don't give a shit. And then you're sitting there and you get the same thing anyway.
What if an Xbox console user starts buying the majority of their games on Steam instead of through the Xbox, like Multiplats, and then there's a revenue loss? They instead Xbox get the 30% instead of the 70%.
What if that Xbox user buys a PlayStation and they just buy Xbox games on PlayStation and Xbox gets a revenue loss instead, but then they
win
actually
either
have the
way.
game sold either way?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they either win either way. Ta-da! Nobody like stop, bro. It doesn't matter anymore. Just let it go.
I'm fine. Hey, this is what I want. I mean, I own 100 really big games on Steam and Ubisoft and
I said 100?
Huh? Like big games, like not just a
100?
little rinky dink, like big cool games. Yeah.
Oh.
I have a bunch of games that I've collected on Steam and those other storefronts. And if I could load up the next generation console and play them and my Xbox games, that's what I said. Like the handheld or the new console could be a big deal because it would have more games than any console. It would have all of your Xbox library and then everything that's available on Steam and everything like that.
Now think about it, Colt, and the marketing would be Xbox, take it anywhere. It has everything.
Yeah.
You have everything. So now you have the entire PC market totally okay with it, and they'll buy that as a companion to their Steam Deck if they didn't like Linux in the first place. Because they'll have Windows and they can have Steam directly on there, not have to deal with Linux compatibility for Proton. It'll be a more powerful device than the Steam Deck on top of that, and it'll have Game Pass, and because you can't have Game Pass on Linux because it's Linux.
Yep.
Which solves the problem of Game Pass on PC, which is garbage. And you have your entire Steam library that you can play natively on your handheld device through just a Windows laptop, which is just a handheld gaming console. And then what's funny is any game that goes on Steam from Sony is now on an Xbox platform.
That's the other hilarious part. Yeah. On that handheld or the PC console. Now. Yeah. An Xbox owner could have like 30 some PlayStation games. Right next to
people that say like, oh, they'll block it. Are they blocking games from being bought on Asus ROG? No. On a ROG Ally? No.
But is PlayStation going to get some type of restriction where if it's an Xbox branded console? Because Xbox has to go around legality with their Xbox games where they have to make sure that
they just won't call it a console, they'll call it a PC.
But the Xbox versions of games are literally licensed to be on an Xbox console.
What did you just say Xbox should do? Give you the PC version, right?
Absolutely.
There you go. It's
there you go. Done. Fixed. I got one more question to ask you.
That is a simple, like if they do that, and they provide you a good UI to use and play with, and the actual UI makes sense and it doesn't crash on you every 30 seconds, or you can do the stuff you want to do with it, then it'll be just a killer. Because you'll have the entire PC marketplace buying it, you'll have the Xbox guys buying it, and then anybody who's like, well, I just want a handheld and I just want to play it there, I have my entire library with me, no matter what. I don't have to rebuy anything.
If that handheld isn't a weak piece of crap, like if it's capable, I've been trying to explain to people, if it's capable, if it's modern, capable in that
GPU,
yep, it does more than it'll do more than the Steam Deck and the ROG, because if you own 5 games or 500 games on Xbox, you'll have that plus everything that has. And I think that is.
And then it doesn't matter if Xbox games go to PlayStation.
Really doesn't.
It never matters.
More games than they'll ever have on PlayStation.
You'll have more games on your Xbox handheld or Xbox Windows console than you'll ever have or need. Because every library that you own is on there.
Do you think Xbox fans are still fighting the PlayStation thing?
You win. Oh, they're fighting the PlayStation thing. That's the
They're-
same concept of like PlayStation fanboys fighting about PC.
But their games will never go to Xbox. And by rights, everyone's like, I don't understand. Indie's going to PlayStation. Where's PlayStation's game come to Xbox? Like, it doesn't work that way. Xbox is at the bottom. They have to work up the food chain in a different way. There's no reason for PlayStation to sell their games on Xbox. Now, they could throw something like Helldivers 2 on there. And yeah, it would increase sales, but why? It's not worth it. I think for them, it's not worth the power of their console being in the market.
It doesn't even, bro. Listen, people talk about the power of the console, right?
I
best
mean, the
analogy I can come up
market
with-
power, market push.
The best analogy that I can make, right, is that Xbox and PlayStation are Apple and Android.
Okay.
There it is. That's the best analogy I can make. If I tell you there's a new iPhone coming out, what are you going to do?
I don't care. I'll get the next Android. That's what I
You
want.
either don't care or you're going to go buy it because it's the new iPhone.
Yeah, I don't care about whatever.
There it
iPhone
is.
comes out. That's it.
There's your PlayStation, and there it is. Or you can get the Android that you like better.
Yeah, but you know what
Whatever
I
the
do
hell,
that
I
you
don't
don't do? I spent $500 on a PS5 so I can play 1 to 2 games a year on it. Does that make me a lesser
Why?
man?
You have a PC.
Well, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
because you have a PC.
yeah, that's
It's
true.
stupid.
But I can't play Astrobot until they finally bend
Oh
the knee.
no, you got to wait a year from all the other games you already play. like why do you give a shit about what some troglodyte on fucking Twitter says about you? Like, who
Oh,
gives a shit?
Well, okay,
You
yes,
know?
I do, but that's not why I'm playing Astrobot. But
Yeah, like who cares?
wait, how old's your oldest
Like,
kid?
people will be like,
Because how old's your oldest kid? You have one
5.
kid?
one.
Shoot, bro. Come on. And you're already clipped? You clipped early.
I'm clipped, baby. I'm done.
You clipped early, man. You need to put
I'm not
out
playing that
you need a full, compact SUV full of kids like me. But
Bro,
yeah, my
I got
youngest
one
son is
enough,
13.
dude. You know how expensive they are?
Yeah. Oh,
Jesus.
yeah. Bro, I'm 76 years old.
You were pumping away when you were a young guy, huh? You were fucking slaying some ass.
I was clipped like 12
You were
years ago, bro.
Colt was out here slanging that dangin'. That's what he was doing, boy. If your oldest is 13,
I didn't have an Xbox back then, so I had more time on my hands.
I'm gonna take a guess that you're in your early 40s.
I told you I'm super old. Mag's in the chat. How the F are you guys still alive? I just finished my business and here you are both. Which means he shook it twice.
How old are you, Colt? How old are you, Colt?
You could figure it out. I'm old.
You're probably like mid 30, early 40.
Oh my gosh, you're so dumb. How could you think I'm that young? I have a 20-year-old.
Oh, what it is? Colt, just say how old you are, bro.
Fonz, holy crap! Fonz says my oldest is 33. Fonz was getting the work in when he was like 4 years old.
Fonz was out there piping. I'm telling you what.
He was laying
Fonz was out there
wood pipe
piping, bro.
back in the day.
All right. So all right, chat. How old do you think Colt is?
Here, we'll put up a poll.
50. Put up
What
a
is
poll,
it?
put up a
Or
poll.
people won't admit, won't say how old they
Come
are.
on back, Meg.
How
Come on back,
old
Meg. Come on
is-
back, Meg.
Yeah, come on back, Meg. We'd love to have you. You don't
Come
have
on
to,
back,
though.
Meg.
Uh,
I got like 20 minutes in me.
yeah, I'm
Fonz
pretty
has
much.
8 kids?
Yeah, he's done it.
Bro, Fonz. Listen. Same woman or different women?
Oh, you know Fonz.
Listen, I feel like Fonz was out there fucking laying some ass, man. I think he was putting ass cheeks to sleep.
Fonz was listening to New Edition and he was out there just
Fonz
cruising.
at that voice, he was out there putting ass cheeks to sleep. That boy was making the plaps. Boy, I tell you what. All right, I'm going to guess 45.
You're very nice. Thank you.
Chat says 48.
I am younger than Tim Dog. I'll give you that one.
How old is Tim Dog?
And I didn't have a public meltdown over consoles like some people have in their lives. I always joke. It's not a joke. Like I had my public meltdowns on the phone with Fonz and Gaz, and then when I got on the internet, I'm like, "Woosah, well, everything's
Bro,
gonna be
you are
fine."
not
Keith
52.
Sweat, he says.
You are not. You are not 52.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
No, you're 40. You're 45 or 48.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Which one?
I'm 48. I'm old. Yeah.
Bro, you look great for 48, dude. Holy shit.
Bro, I'm balder than you.
Yeah, I'm bald. This is a wig, bro. But you look for 48, you look fucking good, dude.
Thank you.
You got them jeans. Hey, that's why you have like all them kids you were fucking out there laying that ass down. You were like, hey, like I gotta fucking
After the third one, I was like,
that's
take the green wire and the red wire, and then you got to figure out which one to clip.
I'm 41 and I just got back pain the other day and I was like, what the fuck is this?
Oh, bro, I had it at 38, I think it was. I remember the day. Hey, you're not gonna have back problems. You have to just stay in shape. You'll be fine.
No. Like the reason I have back problems is because I was twerking that ass too much on streams. That's why.
Dude, remember the video like a year ago when you stood on your chair and you were yelling at the fanboys and you almost flipped off of it?
Yo, there was one time.
Dude, I tell everybody in my house, do not stand. Like, they'll take a computer chair to go, like, hang up something. I'm like, that swivels. I'm like, dude, I'll go get the ladder. And then 5 minutes later, look at my phone, and you're like.
I almost fell. Like, yo, I leave that shit in, dude. Like, funny shit that happens, I just leave it in the attic. I don't care.
I love it.
I'm just having fun.
You're, like, spinning around.
Like, you just gotta have fun, man. You can't. It's too fucking serious, bro. Well, bro, dude, listen. You were out here laying some ass, bro.
I had to.
If your oldest is 13.
Youngest is 13.
Oh, you said your oldest is 20. Your youngest is 13.
Youngest is 13. Oldest is 20. Almost 21. Yeah.
20. So
they're fantastic kids too, man. They're amazing.
You were out here 28. You were at 28. So that means
you're right. Dude, holy crap, great math.
Bro, I play Path of Exile for fun. Are you serious?
I'm sure there's an association there I could have done with the math, but you got that quick. Yeah, 28 years old.
Yeah, bro. So that means you started fucking at 16.
Nope.
No? Were you a late bloomer?
Yeah, I was.
Oh,
yeah,
dude,
I went through puberty at like 23.
Bloomer, when you're a late bloomer, you catch the fuck up, don't you? You caught the fuck up real quick. You was like, oh, I'm a late bloomer. I'm gonna run the train. I was
a good little choir boy, is what I was for a while.
You're a choir boy. You were out there spreading the good word of God by spreading them cheeks.
Oh my gosh. Well, it could be true. Well, what happened? Who came back on? We got Mag. Hold on a second. Well, there we go. Everything is right.
Started at 16 like a degenerate.
What about Mag? I gotta go like this. There we go.
What the hell just happened here?
Bro.
Mag, are you Italian, Mag?
Yeah, I am, yeah.
Mag, tell us, when did you start laying the sweet PVC?
I lost my virginity at 15, and I never looked back.
Yo!
And then I went around the world. What I did in my 20s when I was in the restaurant business, I had a goal, and I'll tell you my goal. My goal was to sleep with every race on the planet that I could think of. And I pretty much succeeded. I have banged every girl from almost every single... Jeez. Yeah, I'm still in the business. 30 years in the restaurant business, and I've slept with everything from every country you could think of in Africa, South America, all across the United States, all over Europe, UK, Canada, wherever. I've done it all.
Yeah, I used to work in like a 5-star restaurant when I was in like my early 20s or late 20s.
Oh yeah,
the shit people do in the restaurant biz, bro.
I could literally write an entire novel of books, an entire like series of books as to all the stuff that's happened.
Get the fuck off my expo! Like that was always the best. When I would hear that shit, from the back end, and I was doing silverware, and I would hear the chef go, "Get off my expo!"
See, Magnum even knows. He even put in the chat.
We're having a good night tonight.
See, even Magnum knows. He just put in the chat. He goes, "It's true. Mag has even banged my mom." That's exactly right, Magnum. And guess what I used?
I just banged
Magnum's.
dads.
Guess what I used, Magnum? Magnum size condoms, extra large. The only way the mag goes. Why do you think they named the condoms after me? You think that was an accident? That was no accident.
Oh, it was after you?
Yeah.
I asked Copilot AI
olive-colored
about
black
middle-aged game guy, and it said something about Magnum and his mom. So it's
exactly.
It's all been
absolutely.
documented. It's all been documented. How many kids do you have, Mag?
I have 2 kids. That's it. Of all the slaying I've done,
Nice.
only 2 children that I know of.
Only 2 got through the gate.
There might be a 25 or 30-year-old in Wales somewhere going, "Mommy, what does Daddy look like?" Maybe. That's a possibility. Because in where I was in South Wales, condoms didn't exist. It was kind of like that Austin Powers thing where they were just like, condoms, they're for sailors.
You were just playing the game. You were just playing the pullout game.
My pullout game was very strong. It still is. Not that I need to anymore. I mean, now I'm a vasectomy. Now I can just come in everything I want.
What the?
Dudes,
it is the
chicks,
best, bro.
Colt,
you just dump loads, bro. Whatever you want, man. Just
whatever
dump
I want to
those loads,
do.
man.
I mean, there's nothing in them. It's just like firing blanks in a movie.
And
set.
you ever noticed too, like the second you got snipped, it's like more liquidy, so you shoot it farther now too?
Well, not when you hit 49. No.
Yo, now I was feeling like Peter North when it first happened to me. I was like, motherfucker. Am I the new Peter North?
The decorator. A man of culture, I see. Yeah. By the way, the decorator is from Canada. I'd just like to point that out.
Game Seeker in the chat says XXX and C.
Hey man, it wasn't my fault. I didn't start this. Okay, I was doing I had some work business to deal with. I dealt with people, and then I was just like about to get to bed, and I'm going, they're live, and then I turn it on, and all I hear is Alex going, "You fucked some, you slapped some cheeks, you did this and that," and I'm going, Colt is going to have a meltdown, but I don't care, and I just had to come.
You're here for it.
I'm here.
Gunny672 says movie kids was about Fonz's childhood. What Xbox? What
Xbox has no games is in the chat. It says, will Indiana Jones run better on the PS5 Pro? I don't know. Tell me how God of War Ragnarok is going to run on my PC.
Alex, I'm going to say, there's a couple of like really hardcore PC guys out there, and I always tell them whenever I'm in like once in a while I do Crossfire. I said, do me a favor. I think his name is Death Singer, and I'm like, hey, Death Singer, do me a favor, dude. I go, send me that footage from your PC when GTA 6 comes out. And he goes, not really fair. I'm going to get it next year, and this and that. And I'm like, you're going to wait an entire year for GTA 6. You're not going to like pick up a PS5 cheap or. I give no.
What are you doing? GTA 6.
You're not. I was about to ask you. You're not going to play it?
Don't care.
He doesn't care.
Don't even care.
What? Okay, how about this? I know you do. I know you do care about this.
Exile leagues. I have 1,000 hours in PoE. I have 1,000 hours in Counter-Strike 2. I have 800 hours in fucking Pillars of Eternity. I literally do not have time or the care to play another mid-story from Rockstar where you got to hit 6 buttons to get into a car and finally drive off by hitting 7 more buttons and then failing the mission because you were too far or too close.
Come on, man. It's Y to get in the car and it's right trigger to push the gas pedal. Hey, what about this? What about this? What about this? I thought this is kind of interesting.
Paul Smith, that was a very good. That was
a musician. A what?
No, Paul Smith said something horrible in the chat. I loved it.
On your mouth.
Well, I mean, if she didn't,
I like firing it off on the butthole where it shoots off back at you. You know, a little spot.
Well, if she doesn't own any jewelry, she certainly is going to have a pro necklace when I'm done. Anyways, carry on. What are you saying about GTA 6?
You ever give someone a blinding the Marlin?
Please demonetize Colt and tell me all about it.
That's when you come on her eyes so she can't see. You put your finger in her mouth like a hook and you walk her around the room.
I told you I was a choir boy. All right.
Oh, for God's sake! Oh, Colt, you're done now. Welcome to hell, buddy.
I was actually gonna talk a topical thing about Grand Theft Auto, but I think we could probably call it.
I'm excited for it. I love all the Grand Theft Autos. I actually think.
Did you hear about this musician that was mad that he was offered $7,500 for his song to be used in the game, and he's like, they made $6.8 billion on the last game. He thinks that's not fair.
Well, that's not going to the artist. Like, you know what I mean? They're not splitting up $6 billion and here you go, and here you go.
Here's
like
some
Halloween
royalties
candy.
every time someone plays a song.
You know what the thing is though? If you're an up and coming artist and you're still getting paid for the job, you're getting paid for the gig. Either way, that's the biggest exposure you're ever going to get because you're literally going to have tens of millions of people listening to your tune. Like, what are you thinking? This is like, I mean, you're getting paid for the gig.
What if those tens of million
advertise.
people hate that tune and they skip the fuck out of it?
Then you know what? Then you just became an Australian breakdancer at the Olympics, okay? You had to take a chance and you failed. But at least you got the exposure, right? Yeah, exactly. She does the thriller thing. But the thing is, you gave it a shot. And you gave it a shot and you failed, but at least you gave it a shot. If you're an upcoming musician, you still get paid $7,500 and you get that kind of exposure. If your tune is good, it's good. If you're not on GTA 6 and your tune still sucks, it's going to suck even more.
Yeah, someone said that at the tune of $7,500 per song, which I'm sure they offer more depending. If it's a Phil Collins song, they offer more, right?
Well, because you're not paying Phil Collins, you're paying the publisher. You're paying the music publisher, right?
So
they're the ones who collect that.
Yeah, and they said that Grand Theft Auto would have spent around $3 million just for music alone to be in the game. Like, it doesn't matter how much money the game makes. It's not a royalty situation, but people seem to really like they try to take advantage of something that's popular like that. But
Magnum he's saying it's an old 80s band. I know every old 80s band because
I've never heard of them.
So who the hell are they? What's the name?
I don't remember. I looked them up and I know like every 80s band that's in the mainstream.
Dude, I know every band like ever. Like from the 80s, I know them all.
I know 80s songs. I don't know 80s bands.
Like I'm going to go see Accept. I'm going to go see Accept and Judas Priest in Nashville in a couple of weeks. Like fuck.
I could be on a music trivia show.
Yeah, well, Judas Priest is big, but like Accept is like a very small group of metalheads that love that.
Go bring your lube if you're going to go see Judas Priest.
I love Halford, man. Rob Halford is the best. Let me tell you something.
Heaven
the best metal guys on the
17
earth are all gay.
Yeah.
Think about it. The best rock singers are all gay. Just the way it goes.
Freddie Mercury. Yep.
Elton John. Rob Halford. Amongst others. Possibly Steven Tyler, but nobody's ever
Ricky Martin.
Oh, dude, you know that boy was sucking dick. You know that boy with that mouth. He was that Steven Tyler was taking
with those
lips, bro. That boy was taking double cocks, bro. That he could fit two in there, no problem, easy.
Mick Jagger and David Bowie, they had an affair. That was documented.
Totally. No, that was not.
It was 100% documented by Mick Jagger's wife, and she knew all about it. That Mick Jagger and David Bowie, God rest his soul, is that they were having an affair in the 70s and into the 80s. And then they ended up collaborating on a couple of songs after that.
They did Dancing in the Streets, which was pretty...
Oh, my God, Dancing in the Streets, worst song ever. Yeah. So, hey, it is what it is, man.
When you're like, they did Dancing in the Streets, you're like,
that's probably... I think I believe it now.
Yeah.
Listen, when you got that kind of when you got that kind of money, everything becomes androgynous. I trust me. I know from people I know who are multimillionaires and billionaire. Well, one billionaire. And when you get to that level and you experience that level, and I see that stuff,
you're just trying to fuck.
It's no longer just fun to just be with a woman anymore or whatever. They start getting in all kinds of crazy stuff.
They get bored. Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day was also
the designer drugs, the sex, the everything goes to a different level and it all becomes very androgynous. There's no like straight gay nothing anymore. It's just a whole different experience. And if you see that firsthand,
and then you get on a plane, you fly to an island, and then
well, that's a different kind of billionaire, not the ones I hang out with. But yeah.
Hey, Will Broke Boy Lewis in the chat.
All of a sudden, Guy Beam's there. You're like, wait a minute, Guy Beam, what are you doing here?
Let me tell you something. When you go to a Bitcoin party, you're going to see stuff that you've never seen before. That's an
those
expose.
Dudes are wild, bro.
My friend is, well, I'm not going to say his name, but he's one of the first three that founded Bitcoin. You want to hear the sad part about it is? In 2010, he came to me in my restaurant, when I owned a restaurant at that time. He came to me and he says, yeah, dude, you got to get into this thing. I go, get the fuck out of here. I said, and my brother was right there. My brother goes, dude, it's a pyramid scheme. Stay out of it. I'm like, I'm not going to go near it. And then he became worth $2.2 billion like a couple of years later. And all of a sudden and I was just looking at my brother going, pyramid scheme, eh? I'm like, he's got a boat that fits 100 people. And I'm
That's
like,
it.
we're still working.
I'm like, what I would love to do with this, like people are like, why are you doing YouTube? What I want to do, in like my honest opinion, like what I really want to do is I want to create an organization that helps up and coming YouTubers attain actual sponsorships.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's what I want to do. And then I want to sign actual like content talent, like an org.
That's a
Like
good
that's
idea.
what I want to run.
So do it. What are you waiting for?
That's well, dude, I'm trying to build up an actual community to build
You're
that
doing
so
a-
I can have the money to then pay for an org.
Oh, okay. I understand. Okay.
Orgs
All right.
cost millions of dollars. It's not like you could just make one.
I understand. Or you reach out to somebody who has that kind of money that's interested in investing.
Yeah, but I need to be able to have the capital to back it up so that
Of
they can
course.
invest into me as to why.
Sure. Yeah. Yep.
But
That's the
that's
thing.
kind of that's what I feel like I got like 10 years and I want to stop after 10 years and just be like,
Yeah,
that's it.
that's fair.
I
That's
hope
fair.
I hope
How do
YouTube
you know-
survives all that time though.
I
mean, it
gonna
should.
evolve.
YouTube survive it? Yeah.
Yeah, but it's
100%
gonna.
it will.
They're still trying to. I mean, competition's still trying to poke their way through. Like you've got Rumble doing their thing and whatever.
No, Rumble
else.
ain't going nowhere.
and
You know,
then
I
you've
threw
got-
5 of my most recent videos on Rumble, and they have like 50 views. It's
Well,
weird.
I mean,
Because
it
if you're
depends.
not
Like,
if you're not doing politics, you're not going to get views on Rumble.
well,
Yeah.
that's the other thing. Like I know, like there's another guy that does D-Day Cobra Cast and whatever. He does a lot of political stuff. I mean, he's part of Geeks and Gamers, which is at 400,000 subs. And then he started the Cobra Cast thing, where it's all politics. You know, the Republicans, the Democrats, all that kind of shit. And then when he does a live stream, like he's got like 6,000 live on YouTube, and then another like 2,000-3,000 on Rumble, and then he goes on Kick, and then he's live on,
What?
you know, and then he's got the Twitter thing. Yeah. And so like he's got like 10,000 live and like just going to town, you know, and then you get to these other guys like you look at like Friday Night Tights on Nerdrotic and stuff. They get
Mhm.
like 30,000, if you like 20,000 on YouTube, another 10,000 on Rumble.
Yep.
And then what they do is that they cut the YouTube stream short, and then they do the controversial stuff and they go to Rumble. So all those people follow them over to Rumble to hear the stuff that YouTube won't let you talk about.
Interesting.
Right. So it's
Yeah.
very attractive in that way, where a lot of people will go over there and then they'll talk about really controversial things over there because Rumble doesn't give a shit. They just let you go. You know,
A lot
unless
of
you're,
people don't
you know,
like
unless
switch
you're breaking the law.
platforms. Yeah.
You what?
Yeah, people just don't switch like switching platforms.
Yeah.
So
Because
like
people don't
I
like
have people
change.
like my viewers, they don't like change. So go to them. Don't make them come to you. Go to them.
Yeah.
It like I've been dual streaming on Twitch when I stream live on Saturdays and YouTube. And there are people that are like, I just prefer Twitch's UI over YouTube.
You
They'll just be there.
you're able to run your stream at the same time on Twitch and YouTube, and do you keep an eye on both of them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I put both the chats inside of OBS.
Well, you know what? The other thing is too, like Alex is able to do that. When you start hitting those ridiculous numbers, these guys have producers, right?
Yeah.
So they can't do all that. So they're trying to perform and do their show. They've got producers in the background that are linking Rumble, YouTube, Kick, Twitch, Twitter, whatever. It's all simultaneous and running, and they've got someone doing that. There's no way that they can control all that. So
Yeah.
they have the producers in the background doing all that work.
Mhm.
You know, like Nerdrotic's got X-Ray Girl, Toronto Girl, by the way, I'd like to point out. And yeah, so she runs his channel, and she's the producer. She's on the stream, but she doesn't talk. She's got screens everywhere, just going click, 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 click.
Yeah,
click,
doing work. Yeah.
just going. But she's on camera, and you can see her, but she doesn't say much because she's way too busy trying to control 30,000 live viewers. It's wild.
Jeez.
Yeah, man. That's big
Boys,
money you're talking
I gotta
about.
go.
Yeah.
Go do your
yeah.
thing,
It's
brother.
time. I gotta be up at 6 to do squats tomorrow.
Dude,
I gotta
do
go
it.
to bed.
All
I
right.
got chin-ups tomorrow, baby. Not fun. Not fun at
Chin-ups.
49. Let me tell you something.
I just do
Not
bent over
fun.
rows now. That's probably why my lower back hurts for doing bent over rows.
Yeah, you be careful,
man.
bro.
Yeah. Hey, look at cardio, heavy weights, light weights, chin ups, abs. You just got to do it. Just go, 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 go. Got a
Yep.
whiteboard
Yeah,
on the
you gotta do it.
wall. My son and I work out together. Fucking crush it.
Awesome.
There you go.
You got to, man. And no
All
matter
right,
how,
boys,
like,
thanks
my
for the
body is-
invite.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Alex.
Glad we got to
Thanks,
derail
Mag.
everything and have a shitty
Yeah,
time.
it was totally
Oh,
derailed. It's fantastic.
when Xbox drops you now, you know, you just
okay.
for me being on here.
You can come over to PlayStation.
Yeah, you know.
I don't want to go
They'll
that
accept. They'll accept you.
far. Yeah, everyone's
Gonna
like,
be
when
like,
you
who's
Switch,
this
there's no
Alex guy?
Switch.
Well, Phil is done.
You're no longer
Phil is
getting
done
a check
with you.
from Phil.
Phil is done with Colt. That's it. And Alex, forget it.
Love it.
I'm never getting a sponsor
On
ever
platforms
again. All
where
right, bye,
Game
guys.
Pass exists.
Bye, guys.
Good
Thank
night,
you so
dude.
much.
Good night.
Good show.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody. I'll check you out next. Or come see us next week. Boom, like that.
Are we
Oh,
still live?
yeah. No, we're still on. Let me.
I saw something interesting to tell you. Does
Okay,
anybody
hold
in
on.
the chat want to hear this?
I go back to the double thing. I'll fix it. Yeah. What do you got? Hold on. Let me fix, because it's like two of me. There we go. I'm fixing it. Yeah. Freaking Discord's weird, man.
I know.
I set this
Game
up.
adaptation newcast. Don't skip leg day. You're not wrong. But I don't skip leg. I don't do leg day. I just do cardio. I bought myself a recumbent bike, and I do 14 kilometers. So about 11 miles
Yeah.
a day on that bike. Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, dude, my legs are shredded. So, anyways, we're not talking about that. Got some interesting to
what
tell
do you
you.
got?
I
What do
didn't
you
get
got?
to tell you during the show. So I just got word that two things. One thing I'm not allowed to talk about, but I will briefly say that I know a couple of people who've gotten their hands. Oh, I mean, they've had their hands on it for a while, but they've been putting the PS5 Pro through its paces.
Okay.
And they said that so far so good. They're happy with the performance. So that they're being very vague, and I'm being very vague because I'm not allowed to tell the general public what games they're working on. However, they said that it's actually coming along quite nicely, and they're very pleased with the hardware. That's the first thing. So that's
Okay.
just a little side note. However, I did find something interesting from someone else who was also in the hardware business, and he was talking. He was looking at some of the patents and things and whatever, and some of the actual technical tests that have been doing with this new Nintendo console.
Oh, nice.
And he did tell me something very interesting. He says that they're working on it right now, and so far it's successful. Whether it makes it to the final product is entirely up to Nintendo. But they have a tech now. What they're going to do with the new console is that they're going to be able to broadcast to any of your mobile devices in real time while you're playing. So, for example, instead of having to buy 4 controllers, let's say, you'll be able to broadcast the new console onto your phone. Let's say it's you and your family sitting on the couch. So you could be playing there. Your kids can be playing on a cell phone, a tablet, or whatever, and it's going to broadcast to those devices that are registered with the new Nintendo console. So you'll be able to have multiple screens throughout the house at any time. Pretty cool, eh? That's a pretty cool idea. Yeah.
It just sends it wirelessly out to your other screen. I mean, that you can do that with phones, but it's not very stable or very high quality. Maybe it needs.
Apparently, it is stable.
Oh, amazing. Okay.
For this new console. So that's going to be very interesting. I also expect, now that we know that Xbox is possibly, maybe, who knows, working on a dedicated handheld,
Right.
and Sony could be maybe someone, who knows, working on a dedicated handheld, that technology could be utilized as well. That if you're able to do something like that, being able to broadcast to multiple screens without having to have like a switch, screen, and then having those stupid little controllers. Everybody's got the controllers hooked up to the one screen.
Yep.
You would actually be able to broadcast to multiple
Oh, I
screens.
see. Then you share a controller, but you don't have to look over at the little screen,
Septic sauce.
huddle around it.
Oh, of course, that prick is awake. Go back to bed. Okay.
What
time is it? Okay, listen to
world?
He goes, yeah, don't listen to Meg. He's a pony plant. Okay, that's a new one. I'll give him that one. I'll give you that one, Gaz. So
Shout out to Gaz. He put out a.
Shout out to Gaz. It's morning time. Have your beans on toast and come finish the podcast for me.
Dude, he doesn't eat English food. Yeah, I don't even think he knows what English food is. He put out a great review for Space Marine 2.
He's from there. he eats beans on toast. He's just not telling you.
He was pretty much raised there, so he has no excuse. But yeah, shout out to Septic Sauce and his little fledgling little toxic channel where he. It's so funny to hear Gaz's. He's got two tones. He's got this game is incredible, and then he's got the oh yeah, the PlayStation fans have done it again.
Wow, yeah. That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
I love it.
Ezekiel Montez there in the chat. He's Gaz is the new Dreamcast guy.
Oh, hey now.
Hey,
Ezekiel,
you know what
come on now. Come on now.
You know what though? Can I tell you something?
Oh,
Can I tell you something?
don't do
People
it.
are gonna hate me. People are
Don't
gonna
do
hate
it.
me. Well, people hate me anyway. I don't give a shit.
Okay, do it.
Well, actually, they don't all hate me. Just Magnum hates me because he sees me walking out of his mom's room at 7 a.m. And then I always ask.
Fonz goes, Gaz eats dog.
He's not from that part of the world. Let's get.
Well, that's what we've been doing that to Fonz for like years.
Oh, okay.
You know, Fonz goes, I just had dinner. I go, which dog did you eat today? We do that all the time.
Oh yeah, well, keep him away from cats because I heard that's been happening in the U.S. a lot lately. But anyways, you know,
what were you
going
to say?
News, kids, and lock up your cats. What was I going to say? I did a show with Dreamcast guy a few months ago, and he was super, super nice.
He is nice. Yeah,
he was a super nice guy.
He is nice.
That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. I don't have any other interactions with him. I don't like. I've heard there've been issues with some people in the past, and like they say, "Oh, he did this and he did that. He said some bad stuff about me and that whatever." And I've heard some of the drama, but I just did one show with him. That's all I did. I did the show with him, and he was on the show, and he was actually very, very.
He's
nice.
very, very nice, and you've heard me defend him when people start making fun of looks or other things. But I think we shouldn't be so overly dramatic about some things when it comes to gaming. And I think maybe he errs on the side of that everything is doomed. Unless you're Xbox, then you have your own problems. But
I have another info drop. But I
you got another little morsel?
No, off the air.
Oh, jeez.
I was told I was allowed to tell you, but I was not allowed to say it out loud.
What are we at? We're at almost the 4-hour mark, and I haven't eaten dinner since yesterday.
Since yesterday's dinner?
Yeah, if you know me, 2 hours plus where I'm not stuffing my face, I'm off the Mountain Dew again. So if you may notice that I'm off the Mountain Dew. So yeah, it's another thing.
Good. Stay off that stuff because
I mean, over here, it's
literally
really, the American Mountain Dew is really good for you. It has essential vitamins and minerals. It's made with water.
It's got enough sugar to kill a horse. Stop drinking that crap.
I'm gonna hear your voice the next time I want to go for a Mountain Dew.
Dude, let me tell you something. Sugar.
Yeah.
Salt.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I'm going to say. And trust me, I travel to the U.S. about 4 or 5 times a year. And if there's one thing that Americans do at least 4 or 5 times a year, and I can tell you one thing, 2 things. Americans have absolutely zero control with their sugar and their salt. It's completely out of control.
It's different than where you're from?
Out of control. Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, no.
Just pull everything, put butter on everything.
Listen, fast food is fast food. Like McDonald's is McDonald's. Delicious. Wendy's is Wendy's. It's always going to be the same thing, like no matter what. But I'm talking about like even just going to a regular restaurant. You're like, dude, did I just eat a burger or did I just eat a mouthful of salt? Like once in a while, it's all right, but you got to calm down.
Bro, I told you before the show went up about stuff going on with my family.
Yes, salt and sugar. Absolutely. The number one killers, man. Number one killers. Killing more people than alcohol and cigarettes, I'll tell you that much.
Do you think the PS5 Pro is going to kill anybody with how big that monstrous that thing's going to be?
Well, if I drop it on my toe, I'm definitely losing a foot. You know what I'm actually thinking about with that PS5 Pro? I think that thing is going to weigh a ton. Do you remember how much the Xbox One X weighed? I mean, that thing was a friggin' cinder block.
It was like 12 pounds. 12 or 9?
Holy
9
crap.
pounds. 9 pounds total.
I mean, that thing wasn't that thing heavier than the Series X? Because the Series X is a beastly machine. Like, that thing is heavy. But I think the One
when
X
you hold the One X, it feels so heavy because there's no air in there. It's like compact.
Oh God, it was so compact, and like you put it down on like your display. When I first opened the box and I got my One X, I put it down. It was like clunk. It was like I just took off my armor from like Space Marine 2 or whatever. It's just like,
Yeah, no,
like
it's a
big,
beast.
heavy. Yeah,
It's
it was
a
a
beast.
beast of a machine. I think the PS5 Pro is going to weigh 1,000 pounds. This thing's going to be a monster.
Well, they had it. Actually, I'm gonna predict it's not gonna be super heavy because one of the reasons they're making the Pro is to also cut corners and charge more.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
And when they cut corners, if they can get the PS5 Pro to weigh 3 ounces less than the standard PS5, I keep saying 4. I probably said it a million times in the show. You know what I mean?
Sure.
The PS5
Yeah.
Pro, I probably said 5. I would have no idea.
Mhm.
If they can get that thing 3 ounces lighter, Mag, across 10 million consoles, they're going to be shipped over the next couple of years. They're going to save a bunch of money.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And I think it might be, I'm predicting it's going to be a bit smaller than the
Really?
launch PS5. Because I think the new iteration PS5s are slightly smaller. So I think they're either going to be on par with that size or maybe a bit smaller because
Fair
less plastic, less size, less weight
Sure.
is all going to
Alright.
turn into, we gave you a better product, we're charging you more, and we're able to cut corners and save money because it's all about them making money and
I've got
giving you a
3
product you
PS5s.
want.
I
What?
got 3 PS5s in the house, and they're I don't want to say original because they weren't the launch ones, but they were before the Slim came out, right?
Yeah.
So I got one launch day, like when I got like we'll call it launch week because it was within the same week. I got 2 Series X's and a Series S, and and I got a PS5.
Magnum
digital,
goes, I'm
all
going
in
to
the
quit
first week.
eating sugar and take up smoking. Thanks for the tip, Mag. I'm
Yeah,
listening
no,
to you.
dude, I'm with you 100%, man. I'm gonna start smoking again too. I'm all in. I'm all in. Let's do
Sorry.
it. We'll do it together. We'll do it together.
So go back
Um,
to what you're saying when I interrupted you.
So no, I'm just saying like I had 2 Series X's and an S and 1 PS5 digital when it launched, and then I think was it 2 years later? 2 years later, I got 2 more PS5s because I already had 3. No, and I got another Series S, so I had 4 Xboxes in the house, and then I ended up having 2 more PS5s in the house, so that was a grand total of 3, and they were. I guess we'll call them like the launch ones because they were before the digital ones. So they're all full size. The disc one is utterly ridiculous. It is literally
I have
the
it.
biggest. It is so insanely huge that it's ridiculous. Like my wife has one like on a pedestal, like it's like this pedestal thing like next to her setup, whatever, because she's got a Series X. Well, she had a Series X, and then she got the PS5 digital or PS5 disc. This thing is a monster. It's like the Freedom Tower in Manhattan, for Christ's sake. It's like, what is happening? It's so huge.
I bought the D brand black plates because it takes off the ears on the top. It just makes
Okay.
it look a little bit more slim. It's actually the same size everywhere else, but
Took
the
ears
ridiculous
off?
like ears on the PS5, they're so stupid, and they're going to continue that on. I was actually looking at while we were playing Astro, I was looking down at the PS5, and I'm like, these sons of biscuits, like literally. They took a board that is shaped like this. It's shaped like the state of Utah. And they're like, instead of making it a rectangle, we'll curve around that void. And then it'll look designed. I'm like, that's not how it works. We'll make it curved on one. I was like, and then the thing goes like this because all the meat is down at the bottom and then up here is just the motherboard, basically.
Yeah.
You watch the teardown. So when you look at it the front cross section's like this, and then the sides like got this curve, and they're like, "That's design." I'm like, "That's lame. That looks ridiculous."
Hey, Padoodle Noodles and Rob in the chat, all talking about Shoppers Drug Mart and Optimum points. Y'all must be Canadian. I can tell you right now that I would imagine that the PS5 Pro will be $800 Canadian. That's tax in. Now, keep in mind our taxes are insane, right? So, tack on almost $100 in tax on top of the price. So I would imagine $699 Canadian plus tax. It'll be about $775, $780 if you live in Ontario. So that's basically $800 for the Pro. That's what I think. It's going to be $599 American.
Somebody wrote it
without a disc.
I thought it was a super. No. D-Batch messaged me. Sorry.
Oh, did he?
I was looking between. D-Batch said, let me see if that was him. Yeah, he thinks he's hearing that the PS5 Pro is going to be $600.
Yes, $599.
Or $650 if you buy it with the drive packed in the box. It comes with the drive. I don't believe they're going to pack in the drive. I think they're just going to continue to sell it separate. That way they can just have the one SKU. Like, there's no reason to pack
They're
it
gonna
in.
sell
Otherwise,
it.
you'd have
Yeah,
two SKUs.
I don't. No, I don't think it's packed in. I was told it's $5.99. It is $5.99. I was told $5.99 confirmed, and then the disc drive is being sold separately, upwards of $70 to $75.
$80 here in the US, but Alex was saying on the stream when you left that he wouldn't be surprised if they lower the price of the disc drive temporarily to get people to
buy
say,
it.
hey, you have options, like, lower it down to $60 and say,
Sure.
hey, we're selling this one new console. It doesn't have a disc drive, but hey, right now it's on sale, and if you get it, I think he said you get the whole thing for $700, which
We also have to come to grips with the fact that I think at this point in our lives, tech is going to keep getting better, but it's also going to keep getting more expensive. And as a result of it getting more expensive, wages are going up. Generally speaking, I mean, like, minimum wage keeps creeping up every 6 months. They keep raising it up here. Like California, it's like $20 or whatever the hell it is. It's a ridiculous amount of money. What ends up happening is then the products are going to start costing more and more money. So we have to get out of our heads that we have to stop thinking about the Xbox One, PS4 era of $4.99 or whatever. It's going to creep up to $5.99 to $6.99 to $7.99 eventually, and that's just the way it's going to be. And games are going to get more expensive too. And it's just the way of things. I mean, people think, oh, that's unfair. Well, I mean, 20 years ago, going to the movies was $5. You know what I mean? Now it's 25. Like, Jesus Christ, what are we talking about?
Is it really
here?
that much? I think it's
I mean, if you go see, like, up here it is.
Yeah. Jeez.
Like, I mean, my son and I went to go see Deadpool in the theater. It was $100. Like, it was him and I.
Yeah.
2 tickets. We got some popcorn, a couple of Twizzlers, some Reese's peanut butter cups, and of course my peanut covered M&Ms. I don't care if you have a peanut allergy. That and like 2 bottles of water.
It's not your mouth. Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ, it was $100. Like, what are we talking about here? And that was a 2-hour experience for $100. So you're telling me that, like, at some point when we're paying like $600, $700 for new tech, and then when Xbox, and if you think, by the way, there's the camera. If you think for 1 second, if you think 1 second that Xbox handheld is coming anything under $600, you're dreaming, because the ROG Ally and the Steam Deck and everything else,
they're about
coming in
$600,
like $700, $800 depending on the storage, right? Like, you got to be dreaming if you think that the handheld's going to come a dedicated handheld will come anything under $600.
That's going to be a weird sell for somebody like Xbox, who typically has a roundabout price point. And I think that when you're looking at 600 plus, that's like a new uncharted territory for a console that doesn't normally break out in sales.
Inflation.
Noob Sabot JP45 has a $5 super says,
Sabot.
well, this is officially OhnoitsAlexx's stream. He is a captain now, Colt. And I mean, if you know me, I can be a bit of a prude, but yeah, you guys are crazy. Gunny says, confirm my nuts reported to PS5.
Jesus Christ.
The nut allergy he's talking about. Yeah.
Oh,
one of my moderators is like, you're live, right? And I'm like, yeah, I know I'm live. I think tomorrow's going to be interesting. I think Alex is right. It'll be a bunch of technical garble. I think it's going to be extremely boring. It's not going to be a bombastic Sony showcase where there's going to be a lot of explosions and fireworks, and like they're going to show, splashes of this and that or whatever. It's going to be him. You remember the last time he did that, when he went out on that stage, and it was like going to one of those like timeshare seminars and like it was like
lobby,
a pretend audience in the Best Western conference room.
This guy, I did enjoy the movie, by the way. This guy 07.
For what movie?
Yeah, no, he was asking me about. He goes, Mag, did you like the movie? I'm assuming he was talking about Deadpool. Yes, I did. I did enjoy it quite a bit. I mean, it's Hugh Jackman. I mean, what are you gonna do? Actually, you know what? Technically, it was 2 Canadians if you actually think about it, because Ryan Reynolds is Canadian and Wolverine is Canadian, even though Hugh Jackman's Australian. But I mean, that's practically Canada South, so it's all good. Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing, man. The same thing. You just got more dangerous animals. That's all. The most dangerous animal up here is me. I mean, it's pretty safe. And a moose.
Xbox has no game. Says Game Pass is $250
that's true.
a year, and you don't own any of your games or having access to them without the internet. But what Xbox has no games doesn't realize is that if you
Even when
did
you buy
that,
a game,
you had far more value. You played far more games, and all the games that he probably bought over the year and never played again, it doesn't matter if he owned them or not. There are so many people. I do not advocate people not owning their games. If you want to own them, digital or physical, that's fine. Do what you want to do. But if someone wants to pay for Game Pass, Xbox has no games. By your very name, I know your IQ is lower than your weight when you were in junior high. I know that. It's such a simple thing that you don't understand, that someone who pays for Game Pass on a monthly basis does it because they enjoy the games and the value that's offered to them. And you're moaning and griping and whining like a little schoolgirl because someone is getting a better value and a better value proposition option than you are. You have to understand that you are a customer. You are not the customer. And a la carte, maybe it's not the way that everyone's going to play. Otherwise, Game Pass would have taken off. And I wouldn't be surprised if PlayStation eventually comes up with something very similar. They're already doing that. They're already offering you 25 or 50 games that you don't own for being an exclusive top tier member of PlayStation Plus. It's pretty asinine to sit there and act like, if you're a PlayStation fan, that you're not involved in the same situation. So I thought I would just kind of help you because, when you go to college, you'll understand things like this, or when you get an education, or maybe when you work somewhere that maybe teaches you some things, you'll learn.
I still like your name though.
But to say Xbox has no games when they're throwing more games on your console than PlayStation bothered to put out from their first-party studios other than remasters, then as Rob says, that pony's a lost cause. Meg,
Rob was talking about me.
What did Rob say?
He was talking about me. He said that pony is a lost cause. Rob was 100% talking about me. Yes, Fonz, we're still on. We're going till 6 a.m. Ladies and gentlemen, we are doing a charity stream right now till 6 a.m. Listen, drop your chats. Drop them in there. We will drop them at our local charity, which, of course, is the MAG Beer Fund. The MAG Beer Fund, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. That's right. The Michelob Ultra. That's what I'm drinking currently this evening. And all your super chats will go directly into my pocket so I can drink more. Thank you very much, everybody. Colt, take it away. We're going till 6 a.m. Let's go. Anyways,
we need to get out of here. I'm
I'm
exhausted. I want to eat dinner. Meg, it's been so awesome having you on.
It's
Alex, thanks for everything.
I left. I had to take care of business. I was supposed to go to bed. And then just as I was going to bed, I'm like, what are these two maniacs up to? And I just had to come back on and lose sleep. But you know what? Sometimes losing sleep is worth it. Everybody, for the second time tonight, have yourself
we will
a great
see you
night.
next Monday. Thank you so much.
See you guys all next Monday.
Hit the like button on the way out. Leave a chat. Leave a comment afterwards. We're getting out of here. Goodbye. We love you. See you next week.
Rob,
Bye.
Rob, I know you weren't talking about